Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. Here in GOAT James Kingdom, we attack the GOAT debate head on, where we challenge all Michael Jordan fans and all LeBron detractors to who is the GOAT of basketball. You can catch us every Sunday noon Eastern Time, right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel, for the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. Also, we go live Friday nights with the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer, where you catch special shows and content as a GOAT James Kingdom follower and subscriber. Also, check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership, where you can get exclusive content.
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom. Welcome. I am A. Johnny the Exposer, and y'all have now been exposed by the Exposer. I appreciate it. And enjoy. I am called A. Johnny the Exposer. You guys are being exposed today.
Your opinion, I guess.
Move on from it. It was the 90s. That's it, bro. Move on from that. You don't know history. You don't know basketball. You just told me I'm stupid. But look how stupid you look because you don't know all this basketball. You don't know history. You don't know jamming. You don't know schematics. You don't know coaching. You don't know scouting. You don't know drafting. You don't know nothing from that Michael Jordan's great because the media said you that, so told you to say that. I know how this recorded, and you are officially being exposed by the Exposer, and you're going to sit there like a man and take this just like Buddy did 2 weeks ago.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Hey, get your numbers out. I had to get my numbers out.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to another Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. I'm your host, A. Johnny the Exposer, representing one half of the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, don't be afraid to become a member of the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Shout out to everybody who is already watching us right now, live right now on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. As you guys know, we're also live on our Facebook group, so shout out to everybody who's watching us on Facebook, and also we're live on IG as well. Shout out to all the IG folks. And again, we are also live on FYF Sports Debate, which is also on the YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to all the platforms for FYF Sports Debate and also GOAT James Kingdom. As today, ladies and gentlemen, and tonight, like I said, I come with another special program like I do every Friday night for all of you. I am here to help out the Michael Jordan fans. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to help out the Michael Jordan fans in the GOAT debate today. because we all know the GOAT debate is necessary for basketball to continue. Shout out to you, Adrian. No, I am not. No, I am not. I am far from doing that, ladies and gentlemen. But shout out to all of you who's watching us on FYF. Again, we appreciate all the love and support. We are in the building. What's good? Yes, indeed, we are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to have some fun. And again, I am here to help the Jordan fans out today. I am coming in the graces of all Chicago Bulls fans, all Michael Jordan fans, and all the 90s old heads. I'm coming in y'all graces. I'm coming to y'all with something that y'all might need, man. This is something that is necessary for y'all. This is very necessary for y'all. We really need to have this conversation tonight because there's a lot of things that's been going on recently that's just been driving the Zesty Jeffries crazy. And it's the fact that LeBron James is playing well. The Lakers are looking good. All of the stuff that's been happening in the last 2 years has just been, just been a lot. It's been overwhelming for them. And then now Bronny James goes ham the other night, and everybody is everything is crumbling for the Zesty Jeffrey world. But we all know the real problem with the Zesty Jeffries is that they do not have a viable criteria to why Michael Jordan is the GOAT, which is why they have been getting bombarded with so much information about the era that they claim they know so much about, and they're upset. Now they're upset supposedly because Gilbert Arenas got some information about Michael Jordan. Again and again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to tell you about you Zesty Jeffries. But today, like I said, I come in favor of y'all. I come to give y'all a little something. I realize there's a way that Michael Jordan could truly be the GOAT of basketball without all that other crazy stuff that y'all love to talk about. The 6-0, the greatest peak, the most dominant player ever, the greatest two-way player ever. All these vague terms that you guys throw out about Michael Jordan. All these things that you guys say, no one dominated the game, the shoes, all these things. None of these things really make Michael Jordan the GOAT. It makes Michael Jordan your favorite player, which is what you guys don't want to admit to, that you have a favorite player that you call Michael Jordan, and you're going to try to separate that and say, no, he's just the GOAT, as if you got some kind of basketball knowledge to state that why Michael Jordan's the GOAT. But we all know, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, they don't have a viable criteria. Oh, you didn't hear? Oh, man, they're going crazy, man. Somebody sent it to me, and I was like, well, what did you expect? This is information that's out here for you guys to know. But I'm gonna let Gilbert Arenas expose this. I don't know what it is exactly that Gilbert Arenas has. But he said he has some information, and we definitely gonna have some fun. First of all, let me give some shout outs to all y'all GOAT James Kingdom members. Shout out to you, Anthony Davis. Thank you for the support. Thank you so much. Yes, indeed. We got West Coast in the building. Yeah, all the lies about Jordan and his fraudulent GOAT case will be exposed. I don't know. Today might be the day that we might have to go run into the hills and regroup and regather as LeBron fans, because I think I got something that's going to help them. Shout out to Twin Man, GOAT James Kingdom member, supportive of the channel. You guys do a great job. What's good? Juan Boy is in the building. Oh, yeah. Don't do me like that on my night off. MJ and them plumbers. Hey, yo, you are hilarious. That is hilarious. Indeed, that is hilarious, man. But listen, I'm here to help them out. We got to help them out a little bit, man. It's starting to become embarrassing, man. It's starting to become embarrassing, man. I see you, man. I see you. It's starting to become embarrassing. You know what? The GOAT debate is stupid as hell. Stop following the general media if you really like basketball. Again, the guys who talk the GOAT debate only watch certain guys in the media. And they watch. I had a guy today tell me in our Facebook group that he don't watch nobody in the media. He don't watch no ESPN, no TNT. He only watches guys like Scap Attack, guys like Unsmart Hoops, Michael Jordan fans are the worst, Cricket TV, those type of guys. He said he watched all those channels. Creepers Pro. Those are the people he watched. Meltdown Sports. Those are the people that he be watching, right? So these are what they like, because that's why they're upset about Gil, because they know Gil got the #1 show as far as basketball content on YouTube, right? So they're upset with Gilbert Arenas. He said here, that's right, West Coast said Gilbert Arenas said he has proof Michael Jordan was willing to take a pay cut so the Bulls could trade for Larry Bird in the 80s. Gil is out here. Skip Bayless done fucked up. He done fucked up. But again, the Tonight Show is about how Michael Jordan fans don't have a true viable criteria for Michael Jordan. And because of that, right, they just be getting assaulted and destroyed on these YouTube streets, on TikTok. I mean, it's starting to look bad. LeBron fans are very confident with LeBron. I mean, we're making songs. We're in our own world. We realize LeBron's the GOAT in our world. We have 100 million cases that we can bring and display for y'all to why LeBron is the GOAT. But the Zesty Jeffries, they can't do it. Again, the 6-0 don't work. The never failing in the biggest moments. The player with the least flaws. All of these things that they bring up, none of this makes Michael Jordan the GOAT of basketball. A lot of it we all know is lies and myths. But you know, here in GOAT James Kingdom, we don't do lies and myths. We do stuff that is tangible, things that you could actually concrete, touch and say, oh, this is the factor right here. And this is a factor that will trump all players in NBA history. This is something Michael Jordan has that no other NBA player has. And this is very interesting for me because I've always heard Zesty Jeffries say a lot of stuff about Michael Jordan. Now, one of the most interesting things they've told me about Michael Jordan was that Michael Jordan has the most championships as the best player in the world or being the best player in the league. That no one's won more championships as the best player in the league. Now, that is in defense to Bill Russell. Because what they can say is Bill Russell was never the best player in the... They'll tell you Bill Russell wasn't the best player on his team. They'll go there. But they'll tell you Bill Russell wasn't the best player in the league for the majority of his championships. So in that case, Jordan would be the GOAT. Now, when they're talking about what makes you the best player in the world, I wonder what they're using to say somebody's better than Bill Russell throughout the 60s, especially in the late 50s, through the early 60s. Well, we all know Bill Russell won 5 MVPs, I think, before he turned 30, if I'm correct. I think only him and LeBron is the only players that have, I think, 4 MVPs before they turn 30, if I'm correct, something to that degree. But that was a very interesting take by the Zesty Jeffries, which was easily debunked here in GOAT James Kingdom because obviously Jordan doesn't have the most championship as the best player in the world. Bill Russell does. He was still the best player. Whether we talking about peak, we talking about at their greatest moments, things of that nature, Jordan is not it. Again, that's what you may like. But that doesn't mean it is the factual things, because we can go to players that dominated more than Jordan ever dominated statistically, or when we're talking about accolades, or when we're talking about winning championships. Because remember, the key thing with the Zesty Jeffries is championships. It's not about stats. It's not about nothing else. It's about dominance and championships. So that's the conversation tonight. But again, they have never had a viable criteria. We've seen them flip-flop all the time. But like I said, we're here to help you Jordan fans out today. We got something for you, something that you can go out there and attack these LeBron fans. Now, it ain't gonna work against GOAT James Kingdom. There's no foolproof criteria for Michael Jordan, to be honest with you. This is gonna be the closest thing to it, though. All right, this is gonna be very, very close. Exactly. We all know that. We all know LeBron James has surpassed Jordan in so many facets of the game. Yeah, Jordan had the greatest marketing campaign of all time. That is a fact. We know that's a fact. Look at them all upset. All upset, bro. Why you upset at me, bro? Like you say, why am I on this? You ask yourself this question. Why Lamont don't want you on his channel? Just ask yourself that question. Stop worrying about why Lamont lets me multi-stream on his channel. Ask yourself why Lamont don't want you multi-streaming on his channel. You see what I'm saying? Y'all be really upset for no reason. I'm actually trying to come in, like I said, in good graces today, man. I'm really trying to be peaceful today. I don't want no beef today. I just want to let y'all know that there's some things that y'all could correct in the GOAT debate. Because I want to keep this going. You see what I'm saying? Like you said, for my measly channel to keep growing. And we can't just keep annihilating Zesty Jeffries left and right, which is silly logic. We got to give you guys something that you can actually use in the GOAT debate. Oh, you found out. I see you found out. Oh yes, we out here making songs. Oh, don't act like y'all didn't make songs for Michael Jordan, or y'all wouldn't run around here singing jingles for Michael Jordan. I had Michael Jordan fans crying when I played the Gatorade commercial a few months ago when we were doing the episode on all the Michael Jordan commercials, and they were brought back to tears because they haven't heard the song in so long and it touched so much memories. They remember playing in a house in the 90s, smoke infested house. That's right, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. This is what we do here. Again, we are GOAT James Kingdom. We are also going live on FYF Sports Debate. Shout out to Lamont again for letting us do this thing here, because Lamont doesn't have to let us do this, but Lamont knows we come in good graces, man. We out here trying to do good works. We're trying to do the Lord's work, even though it's not a Sunday. Friday night is what? It's Friday night is usually children's night, teen night in the church. Oh, those LeBron songs are classics. We almost up to a whole album. We got like 7 songs made already, man. We out here just enjoying it. And then the GOAT's coming back. He might play tomorrow. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. But again, ladies and gentlemen, today's show, as you can see, it's not about LeBron. It is about Michael Jordan and the greatness of Michael Jordan. What's good, Merlin? They say, hey, Johnny, this show gonna do numbers, right? I mean, let's see if it does the numbers. It'll be nice. Again, they claim that all I do is hate on Michael Jordan, and today I'm not gonna hate on Michael Jordan. I'm gonna come up with something for y'all for Michael Jordan for the GOAT debate. Now, what I come to find out is recently, obviously, since y'all want to talk about Lamont FYF, Lamont did a live recently about Kobe Bryant being surpassed by LeBron James as the greatest sidekick in NBA history. And obviously we know Lamont loves to troll you guys very well, and he does a better job than I do at it. But he said something that I thought that was very interesting, was that, you know, the Kobe Bryant fans who are heavily, you know, on the Jordan side of this GOAT debate, you know, feel that Kobe was never a sidekick. He was a number one option, and he was a number one option for several championships. This is very important for the Zesty Jeffries in the GOAT debate. Who gets credit for what championship, and how much credit is given to a player for winning a championship? This is very, 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 very important in the GOAT debate. So when they talk about being a first option, they're talking about you basically being responsible, carrying the load. This is why they say you led your team, you carried your team. You're responsible. Because as the first option, your job is to basically score, and that's what basketball is all about, scoring. Now, mind you, they love to talk about two-way players. But when we're talking about being a first option, it is a one-way conversation. We're not talking about two-way player here. When you're the number one option, that means you're the guy who is responsible for the team's offense, and you carry the load and responsibility to make sure your team is capable of doing what they want to do. Now, we all know all these Zesty Jeffrey logics are very, very vague, because I really don't know what the definition of a first option is. I'm not a basketball coach. I never really played organized basketball to the point to where I would know, well, what is a first option? Because I didn't care if I was a first option, and I didn't care how many shots I took up. I like playing the game of basketball. There were so many things I can do on the court. I didn't have to be the guy who, I guess, scored the most points. But that's what more than likely the first option is someone who scores a lot of points. I'm only guessing this. Again, this is all Zesty Jeffrey logic. But in this base of discussion, right? In this discussion, right? We first have to figure out, in reality, well, what is a first option? Because this idea, okay, that Kobe can't be a number two, meaning he's not the second option, he's the first option. That's why they say he's a 1A and 1B. That means there's two people that are the first options on the team. We all know Michael Jordan was the first option. This is why they say LeBron James is scared of the moments. He'll pass the ball up at the end because supposedly the first option doesn't do that. The first option takes the shot, right? So what is an first option in basketball? What is that? Like, what? How can we define that? And when we went to go look up this definition, like I said, I like to do my research. I went to look it up on Google, right? See what I can find, right? And what I found out was some few key things about becoming a first option player, right? And we're going to discuss that here tonight. So again, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, this is the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Twin Man here says a first option is able to provide their team what they need in any moment. That's as vague as they get there, Twin Man. What moments we talking about? What is that does the team need? Magic Johnson wasn't a first option half of his career. That works in favor, Danny Mac, for Jordan fans, right? Because only Jordan was a first option for all his championships. We know Bill Russell wasn't a first option for all his championships, right? So the first option is what really helps Michael Jordan fans in the GOAT debate, right? But let's break down what Google AI says a first option is in basketball. First of all, the first option player is the offensive focus. The first option is a player the team relies on most to generate offense and score, especially in crucial moments. Oh, Judah's in the building. What are we talking about today? We're talking about helping you Zesty Jeffries out in the GOAT debate because you're losing badly. We up, man. We up 1,000. We up 1,000 points. Y'all need to step up. Right? No, today I'm trying to help you convince people that George the GOAT without being zesty. Giving you some basketball information. Something that you are here for all the time. So here we go again. The first option player is the offensive focus of a team. The first option is a player that the team relies on most to generate offense and score, especially in crucial moments. What is this player's profile? This player typically possesses a strong offensive skill set, including scoring ability, playmaking, and the ability to create their own shot. Now, this is very interesting in this definition about the player profile, is that they talked about having the ability to score, they put playmaking, and then they separated playmaking from the ability to create your own shot. Now, here in GOAT James Kingdom, I've always contested that playmaking is about ball facilitation. It is not about creating your own shot. It is about creating shot for others and also helping others get their shot via screens or passes. So playmaking is a crucial part of being a first option, which I'm guessing is part of passing the ball, setting up the offense. Like we always talk about, a good point guard should be able to do. Right? So with the player profile for a first option player, you have to be able to be very good offensively. We're talking offensively here, y'all. All right? And what is it? How does this pertain to the team? What is the teammate's perspective? The team's perspective of this player. Teammates are expected to look for this player to initiate plays and make tough shots. This player receives the ball first on offense. Then, what is the opponent's perspective, which is something that Gilbert Arenas and Lamont touched on, especially during the Gilbert Arenas and Scap Attack debate, right? Was how do teams focus on the player on the other team? Their opponent's perspective. Opposing teams will often focus their defensive strategy on containing the first option as the important player to an opponent's offense. So when they were saying Shaq was the number one option with Kobe, was one of the pointers that they were trying to bring up, was that team scouting report states that we have to stop Shaquille O'Neal. Not to say, hey, Kobe Bryant can go ham. No, the idea is how the Lakers run their offense and what the Lakers do pertainingly to score is to actually get the ball to Shaq, and from there everything flows into motion, which is what they try to say, which is basically what the opponent's perspective should be when we're talking about how to contain a first option player. So when we're discussing being a first option, these are some key factors. We have the offensive focus, which is basically the player that sets up the offense and is responsible for generating points, especially in crucial moments. This player must have the skill sets to do such. They must be very strong at scoring. They must be able to play make. They must be able to create their own shot. For the team perspective, it is expected by the teammates and the team to find this guy to initiate the offense, to make the tough shots, and to basically be the guy who gets the ball first. And then from the opponent's perspective, it's basically, hey, this is the individual that we must focus defensively on and have a strategy for, because they are the most important player of the team we're playing's offense. And obviously, if y'all say winning in basketball is about scoring, then obviously stopping someone from scoring will help you win. So these are the factors that would make somebody a first option player. Now, this first option scenario is better than the best player, the most dominant player, the greatest peak, the highest peak, the most dominant point ever, the greatest at its greatest conversation, best at its best work, because those are just vague terms. But here you can determine who was the first option or not on a team. And it bodes well for the Zesty Jeffrey argument, because Michael Jordan was the first option for the Chicago Bulls. That is without a doubt. We know from 1987 on, Michael Jordan was always the first option for the Chicago Bulls, especially describing what a first option player was. And even within the examples of what a first option player was, they said Michael Jordan was one. They said LeBron was one. They mentioned Steph Curry. So when we sit here saying, okay, what can Michael Jordan fans use to truly say that's tangible basketball knowledge, not Zesty Jeffrey logic, Michael Jordan's the GOAT? It could be this right here, that Michael Jordan is a first option player. And for me, I had to think about this. I said, okay, well, if Michael Jordan is a first option player, right? If he is a first option player, then what does that say for him in the GOAT debate? How does that go with other players in the league? Because again, we're talking about the greatest of all time. So how does that compare? Jordan was definitely a first option player, right? We all agree with that. He was a first option player. So if Jordan was a first option player, right, does that make Michael Jordan the GOAT? And the reason I ask this, and the reason I say this, is that if, with the definition is given to us, and they summed it up by basically saying this is the player that takes the most shots. This is the player that is responsible for the most points. So obviously you got to be the one that take the most shots. You got to take the shots at the crucial moments. You got to be the guy that other teams are trying to focus on and maintain, which is why they like to say LeBron James choked in 2011, because they don't care if LeBron James misses like in 2007, but they care that he didn't take the shots, that he wasn't aggressive, that he wasn't the first option, that he actually delineated to someone else and said, no, you be the first option in this scenario. Which, for some reason, being a first option now, that's another conversation, that would be a part of the debate, is how important it is to being a first option. But obviously, that's a big role. That's like being the quarterback. That's a very big role, right? So with that being said, and if Michael Jordan, right, we all agree he's a first option player, and if it's all pertaining to being, right, the guy who takes the most shots, who's responsible for scoring the most points, which basically means taking the most shots, then who won the most championships leading their teams in field goal attempts? Right? They love to talk about you. It's all about the championships. Forget the stats and all that other stuff. Who won more championships? Right? We're not talking about stat pad. We're not talking about the years that they lost. We're talking about years that they won. Who won the most championships as the player who led their team in field goal attempts as the first option? Who won the most championships as the first options? And if we do that, ladies and gentlemen, it's clear that Michael Jordan has the most championships as the player who was the first option. It's not even close. Next to that would be LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and John Havlicek, with 4 seasons where they led their team in field goal attempts, and they won championships. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar only did it 3 times. Bird did it 3 times. Duncan's only done it 3 times. Stephen Curry's done it 3 times. Tom Hyacinth's done it 3 times. And Sam Jones has done it 3 times. Now, there's some other players in here that I'm quite sure y'all going to ask about. If you're asking about Shaquille O'Neal, he's only done it once. Obviously, if Kobe Bryant's done it 4 times, that means Shaq's only done it once. Right? And this bodes well for the Kobe Bryant fans. Right? This bodes very well for the Kobe Bryant fans. Because this puts Kobe in an elite category. This puts Kobe in the GOAT debate. This, nothing else does. So like I said, I'm here to help y'all out in the GOAT debate. I really am here to help y'all out. This is what I'm here to do. I'm here to help y'all out in the GOAT debate. With this being said, ladies and gentlemen, right? You got Shaq, who only made 1 championship. Let's see what Warren Boy got to say here. 18-7-7. Oh, you talking about 2011. Right? So, Michael Jordan, right, has the most championships as the first option, which is basically a player who takes the most shots for their team. That's what the conversation is about. What makes you a first option player? Right? We talked about it. We discussed it. We all agree Michael Jordan's a first option player. But other guys here, if you guys want to discuss it, that won championships as first options. Magic Johnson's only won 1 championship as a first option player. Tony Parker has 2 championships, ladies and gentlemen, as a first option player. Akeem Olajuwon has 2 years. Obviously, we know as the first option. Won 2 championships that way. Dwayne Wade has 1 year as the first option of a team. Bob Cousy has 2 years where he led the Celtics in field goal attempts and won a championship. But these are the top 10 players in NBA history that has the most championships as the first option, meaning they took the most field goal attempts for their teams. Because again, we discussed what a first option player is. And when we discuss what a first option player is, again, this is the player that is the offensive focus of a team. This is a player that has the ability and a strong offensive skill set to score, play make, create their own shot. Their team relies on them to initiate plays, to make the tough shots, to be the guy that has the ball first, or to get the ball to him first to take a shot. Opposing teams focus on this player with their defensive strategy to contain him as a first option, knowing that he is the most important player on the other team offensively. Now, mind you, this is all offensive. This is all offensive. We're not talking about defense, this is what helps. Well, that's what I was going to bring up, Ivy League Mac. This is what helps the Zesty Jeffries versus Bill Russell. Because when they want to talk about championships, and they love to say it's not about the stats, what did you do during your years and your stretches? How much did you win? And the number 6 is always the big number. And it's never enough, because obviously 6 is not more than 11. So that's why they have to say 6-0. They have to attach an extra thing to the 6. But even that doesn't bode well, because you're still talking about 5 more championships. And what you're basically showing and now adding is losing seasons for Michael Jordan. But as the first option, Bill Russell has never won an NBA championship. We all know he's never took the most shots on his team. He never was the guy that was trying to take the most shots on his team. Right? But if we really take a look at this, right? This is the thing about Bill Russell that I find very intriguing. Although Bill Russell was never the first option on any of his championships, he was able to win multiple championships with multiple first option players on his roster. Didn't matter. He started with Kuzi, won championships. Then Hyacinth, won championships. Then Sam Jones, won championships. Then Havlicek, won championships. It didn't matter who was the first option on Boston Celtics. Bill Russell was winning championships. So that is something that Bill Russell fans can hold on to when you want to argue with a Zesty Jeffrey about who's the player with the most championships as the first option. Because again, we're talking about the first option, and also we're talking about how we can help the Zesty Jeffries in the GOAT debate. Because again, Jordan fans do not have a viable criteria to why Michael Jordan is the GOAT. This first option angle helps Michael Jordan fans because he does have the most championships as the first option and takes the most and taking the most shots for their team, because that's the role of the first option, to score, to take the shots, initiate the offense, get them the ball. If you got the ball, your job is to shoot. Nobody gives your first option the ball to pass, right? That's what they say. Although playmaking's a part of it. Carson, you have not missed too much. You have not missed too much. We are talking about how to help Michael Jordan fans in the GOAT debate. We're trying to help them with a criteria that would help make Michael Jordan the GOAT. Because see, contrary to what y'all don't understand here, is that we've challenged Michael Jordan fans to show us a criteria that makes Michael Jordan the GOAT. It's been 2 years since we created the ultimate GJK formula for the GOAT debate, to show how LeBron is the greatest player of all time compared to all players, all stats, all accomplishments, everything in one bowl. LeBron James stands on top. We're asked Zesty Jeffries to do the same. Create a system that will grade players with all of the greatness that they are. Even with Michael Jordan's greatness, when they do that, it comes to find out Michael Jordan's not the GOAT. Because if you want to give somebody credit for having the best finals record, Jordan doesn't have that. So that means somebody's going to score more than Jordan in that category. You want to give Michael Jordan credit for 9 defensive teams, you got to give other players who have that same thing, plus the players who have more than him that. If you want to give Jordan credit for Defensive Player of the Year, you have to give credit to the other players who have Defensive Player of the Year over Jordan. There are very few things that Jordan holds on his own that will basically be above everybody else. But those are not the things Zesty Jeffries want to bring up. They know 6 finals MVPs is not enough. They know 6 championships is not enough. They know 30 points per game is not enough. So they have to create all of these myths and lies, and none of it's been working anymore. It's just been getting debunked. It all worked well when we were younger, when we were in our teens, growing up. We was like, man, this is great. Michael Jordan's this, Michael Jordan's that. Now that we're older and we've seen another 2 decades, 3 decades of basketball, this stuff no longer works in these GOAT conversations. It only works when they're together in their own little huddled group, in their own little sanctuary, feeling fine. That's why you'll never see them try to show up on anybody's program. But tonight, I got something for them. I got something for them because, again, Michael Jordan could be the GOAT of basketball with basketball terminology if we're using the first option conversation. Because without a doubt, oh yeah, even 10 scoring titles doesn't give Michael Jordan the reins, because there's somebody with 11 rebounding titles. So you have to give that person credit for doing more than Jordan. And there's somebody who has more seasonal stat leaderships, which I find funny that you guys love to say stats don't matter, but want to bring up Michael Jordan's 10 scoring titles, which are predicated on his stats. But even with that, Michael Jordan still would be underneath somebody and score less than someone else. So Jordan would still not. You guys, again, go create a criteria and put all those things up and give it a point system and watch how Michael Jordan will not have the most points when you tally it up. I guarantee it. I will guarantee it. Absolutely guarantee it. Where is Mikan as a first option? I do not count the NBA prior to the MVP being initiated or given out, which is in 1955-56 season. So anything before that, I don't recognize. Now, George Mikan does have 5 championships, I guess, as the first option. He was basically the only option back then. But if you want to count George Mikan, go ahead and count George Mikan in the category. Guys love to bring up Mr. George Mikan. But this is the category for the Zesty Jeffries right here. This is the one right here. This right here makes Michael Jordan the GOAT. As the first option, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And in fact, right, just in case you guys didn't like this because you were saying, man, you know what, these names ain't working right. Kobe this, Kobe that. Akeem Olajuwon this, whatever. All these guys that you love, Shaq should be up there more. Because remember, I told you Shaq only got 1 season here where he led his team in field goal attempts and won a championship. That was 2000. After that, he was riding the coattails of Kobe Bryant. If we go by the first option logic, which is a basketball topic and a basketball logic as well. It is not, this is not zesty at all. We're talking basketball here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking basketball. So if field goal attempts doesn't suit your nature, because I know some of you guys probably don't like that, it didn't matter. If we go to the guys who led their teams in points per game for the season, Michael Jordan is still going to be the GOAT as a first option. The guy who scores the most points for their team, it would still be Michael Jordan. But it changes it up for Kobe now. Because now instead of Kobe having 4 championships as the first option, he no longer has that anymore. Now he has to fall to Shaq. And Shaq now has 3 championship seasons in here. And it also changes it for LeBron James, because we all know in 2020, LeBron James did not lead the Los Angeles Lakers in points per game. So this here would help the Zesty Jeffries to a certain degree, especially the Michael Jordan fans, but it would definitely hurt the Kobe Bryant fans. I would think the Kobe Bryant fans would like this list better based off of how many shots you take, which is what they like to say, which is why they say that Kobe Bryant was a 1A, 1B with Shaq, because he was the focus of the offense. His job was to score. We all know Kobe didn't want to do nothing else but score. But if we went to just like I said, field goal attempts, it bodes well for Kobe Bryant and his fans. But if we had to take it to who scored the most, which is probably the better idea in this scenario, is the guy who put up the most points and won the most championships doing that for their team, Michael Jordan would still be the GOAT. That would be your GOAT case right there. You could easily tell somebody, tell me who won more championship as a first option player. Can't use Bill Russell, y'all. Can't use 50,000. Can't use versatility, best all-around player. The question will be, who has the most championships as the first option player? That would be Michael Jordan fans' crux in this conversation. This is all you have left, ladies and gentlemen. This is all you have left. This is all you have. Look, there again, the Zesty Jeffries never let me down. What is Johnny rambling about? He's still going on with this most attempts argument being the first option. What makes it a first option? You let me know, Mr. Tony Boots. You be in GOAT James Kingdom members comments all the time, arguing with GOAT James Kingdom members. You're always ready to talk, right? But you never have nothing to prove anything. You never could prove anything you say. So again, I ask you, what is a first option player? You tell me what a first option player is. You tell me. Why do we have to have this discussion with you, Zesty Jeffries? Why can't you just accept information? Why is it a problem for you? What are you upset with me for? I'm giving you a reason to why Jordan's the GOAT, because anything else that you bring won't make Michael Jordan the GOAT. It just won't. But you're mad at me today because I'm telling you Michael Jordan would be the GOAT if he was considered the first option, which we all know Michael Jordan is the first option. And how many players out here are first option that won championships? The first option ain't Jordan in Laney High School. That's facts. Shout out to Ishmael, GOAT James Kingdom member. So Curry is now just as good as Shaq and better than Kevin Durant. Come on, Johnny. Listen, it's not me. It's not me. If you really take a look at it, Stephen Curry won 3 championships, taking the most shots for his team or scoring the most points for his team. So Stephen Curry, as a first option, has 3 championships. Again, I'm not here to argue with the numbers. I'm here to just display them. Even with numbers that are helping Zesty Jeffries, they're still upset. He says, bro, what the fuck you talking about? What the fuck is the criteria for LeBron being the GOAT? Well, we've been and proved it to you guys. We have the ultimate criteria to showing you who's the greatest player ever. LeBron James is the greatest player ever because he's done the most in NBA history. When you include everything that has happened in NBA history, where you don't narrow it down to silly things like the first option or the most dominant player ever or 6-0, LeBron is the GOAT when you talk basketball. I'm trying to give you something to help you tonight. 10 scoring titles don't make Michael Jordan the GOAT. 6-0 don't make. Listen to that. Look, didn't he give? He gave us the rundown. 10 scoring titles is the most scoring titles in NBA history, but it's not the most seasonal stat awards in NBA history. That is owned by someone else. 6-0 is not the only viable undefeated record in finals history. In fact, Scottie Pippen is 6-0, and it's also not the best record in NBA history. Jordan has 1 Defensive Player of the Year. There are multiple players in NBA history who have multiple Defensive Players of the Year. Jordan does not have the most all-defensive teams in NBA history. He led the league in scoring, won 6 championships. So what about the players who led the league in other things and won championships? That's the category you want to. That doesn't make Michael Jordan the GOAT. Was all defensive 6 seasons. Again, 6 seasons cannot make Michael Jordan the GOAT. Not against LeBron. Him being voted all defensive selections and winning a championship doesn't make him the GOAT. No, it's again, if you take a combination of everything like LeBron James has, it is trumping Jordan. Like having the most all-stars in NBA history. Having the most all-NBAs in NBA history. Scoring the most points in NBA history. Winning the most playoff games in NBA history. Being the only player to have 3 finals MVPs on 3 separate teams. 3-peat isn't a record. There's a team that won 8 straight championships. So 2 3-peats does not make Michael Jordan the GOAT. Again, reciting Michael Jordan's resume does not make Michael Jordan the GOAT. Now having all-stars, does it matter? Who had the better teammates, sir? Mr. M. Rum, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? And don't use all-star selections. Longevity is 10 scoring titles. Longevity is 9 all-defensive selections. You can't use longevity for Michael Jordan and get mad that LeBron James's longevity is better than Michael Jordan. You don't get 10 scoring titles without longevity. In fact, Michael Jordan's career is considered longevity because everything that you talk about, it took him 13 years to do. That is considered longevity. And this is not a debate, ladies and gentlemen. LeBron James been surpassed Kobe Bryant. We keep telling you that. He been surpassed all of that. Kobe Bryant played 20 years, sir. But look, this is what they want to do. They want to argue instead of appreciating Michael Jordan's career. This is why we always tell you they're the most zestiest of the zestiest. They have no viable criteria. "10 scoring titles is longevity, sir. 10 NBA seasons is longevity. The average NBA career is 4 years. That's 2.5 times the average career. That is long, sir. And 50,000 points is also dominating. Scoring 40,000 points is also dominating. While having 10,000 plus assists, 11,000 plus assists, that is also dominating. Averaging 25 points per game for 20 years plus is also dominating. Making the All-NBA first team for 13 years is dominating. All this stuff I'm mentioning are stuff that only LeBron holds. Your best option is the first option. None of that works. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put the link up for anyone who wants to discuss this to tell me how Michael Jordan is the GOAT beyond being the first option of a team. Scoring titles does not make Michael Jordan the GOAT. At all. Never heard anybody being a scoring title champ because none of y'all have Wilt Chamberlain in your top 5. And he should be second if you're using scoring titles. If you're using seasonal titles, he should be number 1. He has the most. He has 19 of them. These things do not make Michael Jordan the GOAT. But you guys love to cry. You love to complain for no reason at all. I do not hate Michael Jordan. I hate liars. I hate people who can't speak factually, who can't just be real. Just say you're a Michael Jordan fan. Just say you're a fan. He's your favorite player. Stop making it seem like he's the GOAT. But I'm giving you how you can make Michael Jordan the GOAT of basketball. It is a very simple conversation. Michael Jordan was the first option on his team. His job and his responsibility, his load, was just as much as anybody else who was a first option. And he led his team in scoring. Let me bring up Mr. Winters here in the building. He is a Michael Jordan fan. So, Mr. Winters, do you like my first option criteria for Michael Jordan?
I like it. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah. Salute to you, man, because you know what? When I first heard of you, dude, I thought I was gonna hate your guts. I'm like, oh, here come another one, guy. But I mean, actually, you know what? When you actually break down and explain things, bro, you actually bring up good points, and I really believe that in your heart, you actually believe that LeBron is the GOAT. And I don't agree with you about that. But you're one of the people that I can say it doesn't seem like you're in cahoots with anybody. This is how you actually feel. So I can respect that, bro.
I appreciate that. I'm surprised. I was not expecting for the first guy to step up here to be this polite and this nice to me. Hold up here. Let me show y'all my generosity. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that, sir. Now I know you are a Michael Jordan fan, right? And I know you know.
I'm my bad. I didn't cut you off, but I'm more of a Kobe guy. I do have Michael Jordan as the GOAT. I do have Jordan as the GOAT, but as far as who my favorite is, I like Kobe over Jordan.
You like Kobe over Jordan? Why can't y'all put Kobe over Jordan then? Just put Kobe over Jordan.
No, because I can take my emotions out of it. And actually, I can take my emotions out of it. As bad as I wanted Kobe.
Not enough to make Kobe number 2. Not enough to make Kobe number 2.
Number 2 in my opinion. He is number 2.
Yeah, but that's where your emotions stop right there. It stopped with Jordan, but everything else, your emotions.
No, because behind him, I got Duncan. I got Duncan behind him.
You don't even got LeBron third.
I actually got LeBron seventh, and this is why. I know that's gonna make a lot of people mad. I go with guys who have three-peated in dynasty. Let me say this. I can't put a guy with such a, as great as LeBron is, he's great. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
You
get a pass. You get a pass. Okay,
yeah,
but go ahead.
I just can't put a guy as great as LeBron is, as phenomenal as he is, the talent that he's always been, the force that he's always been. I just can't put him over guys. He has such a small window of championships with each team that he played with. It's a small window of championships. Great, but just a small window. And I can't put him over guys who have dynasty or who have three-peat. I just can't see myself doing that,
But the only guys to ever three-peat are the '60s Celtics, Bulls, and Lakers. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, look at how rare that is. So you look at Jordan, who three-peated twice, built a dynasty where he was at. Kobe built a dynasty where he was at, three-peated once. You know what I'm saying? Duncan, who's dynasty, won a title in the '90s, the 2000s, and the 10s, and has beaten LeBron. You know what I'm saying? But on 2 occasions, lost one to him, but beaten him. I can't put LeBron over him.
Yeah, but Duncan don't have a dynasty. Is that considered a dynasty?
No. The Spurs are considered. The Spurs are considered a dynasty by NBA standards. They would consider the Spurs a dynasty.
Nah, there's no standard. I've had a conversation about this. I've done shows about this. There is really no standard.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at like NBA, if you look at by NBA standards, they would be if you look it up, they would.
They consider the Bad Boys was a dynasty, and they only won 2 championships.
You talking about the Pistons?
Yes. Because they made 3 finals. And that's the case. The Boston Celtics can't be a dynasty. Like that's what I'm saying. Whether you consider a dynasty just winning 3 championships? LeBron won 3 championships within 5 years. LeBron won 3 championships within 5 years.
Well, he also lost some championships within the.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you lose in between. Jordan lost in between. Kobe lost in between.
Yeah, he did. I'm saying, but he's also had like numerous losses. He's been on like losing streaks in the finals. So you have to, as great as the wins.
No, but you can't just make it about the finals. You can't give somebody credit for not making the finals. Like, what's this thing about giving somebody a bonus because they didn't make the finals? You didn't make the finals. You don't get a bonus for that. You didn't make the finals.
So what
you still lost. You still lost. That's what I'm saying. Tim Duncan doesn't have no back-to-back championships.
No, he doesn't. No, he does. He does. He has a back-to-back.
No, he doesn't. He has no back-to-back. No, he doesn't.
He beat the Cavs in he beat the Cavs in 07, and then I think he beat the wait a minute, hold on. Let me get it right.
No, it's 99, 03, 05, 07, 2014. That's it. He doesn't have back-to-back championships. He doesn't have a two-peat. He never went back-to-back. Matter of fact, he only went to the finals back-to-back the last stint.
No. Remember, what year did he beat Detroit?
05.
05. And then
yes. 06 was Miami.
Okay, because Miami won. Miami won in 06.
Yep, and then they won in 07. They lost in 08.
They beat. Okay, you're right.
They lost in 04.
You're right.
They got 3 championships within 5 years. That's what I was trying to say. Same thing with the Boston Celtics. They won in 81, they won in 84, and they won in 86. They don't even have they don't even have back-to-back championships. But they made 4 finals within that same span. Same thing with the Spurs.
So you said they won 3 out of 5.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. LeBron did the same too. From 2012 to 2016, that's 3 out of 5 years, and he made the finals every year.
Here's the thing, Johnny. When you know this yourself, man. You know this. You've been, because you're really a basketball guy. You really are. You really are a sports guy. Mm-hmm. But to be that, and this is not, and this is the point I'm bringing up. To, more so about the Lakers with Kobe and the Bulls with MJ. When you win that championship, you become that team, correct? That everybody circles on their calendar that they want to play. They want to measure themselves against you. So when you have that pressure for you win a championship, then you pretty much play a bunch of championships within the next season to get back to the championship. You see what I'm saying? And then you win it again. And then same thing after that. Do that team again. and you got to go back and be the number one team again and have that pressure and consistently just in the 3P or whatever, you consistently have that pressure on you. You know what I'm saying? Jordan and Kobe responded better to that than LeBron did. Would you agree?
No, because LeBron James had the most excruciating pressure, and he completely responded. When he left Miami, there was nothing that said, "Oh, that's it. He's nobody expecting him to win." They thought Cleveland Cavaliers were going to win a championship. Everybody was going at. So that's what I'm saying. So he had to go through the same tough, even though he wasn't even the repeating champion. They were saying that they were better than the Spurs. So at the end of the day, LeBron James is the dynasty. That's the point. That's what makes him better than all these guys. Those guys are dynasties because of the team they're on. Those guys' teams are dynasties. LeBron James is the dynasty. He himself is the dynasty.
But
that's the point.
But you're rewriting history now because
that's not rewriting. That's the truth. That is the truth.
A player can't be a dynasty by himself. You can't do that.
But that's how great LeBron James is, that he physically is the dynasty, because it doesn't matter where he goes. Because from what you described, the pressure was on him. Even after he left Miami, everybody was like, we got to beat LeBron. But that happened with Jordan in 95. He lost.
No.
In 93, Jordan didn't even continue. He quit because the pressure was too much. Matter of fact, Jordan was like, yo, this is too much. I don't like the pressure of going back to back to back. He couldn't handle it.
Back to back. Why would he not like the pressure? That doesn't make sense.
He said that. That's what he said. Don't ask me that. That's what he said. This is too much. He quit. He played 9 seasons and quit the game of basketball. No one did that.
Everybody. How do you quit everybody?
You quit when you no longer play, sir. That's it. He no longer played. That's how you quit. That's quitting.
Nobody can beat me.
What you mean nobody can beat? How? Play again. Play again. He did. He got beat 6 times. He got beat more than he won. So he did. Of course, he got beat.
Before you say he quit, you can't. No one's even pushing me to a game 7. I'm bored.
Yes, they did. He had a game 7. He played the Knicks in a game 7. He played several game 5s.
I'm talking about in the finals.
But that's not what you said. You said he never got pushed to a game 7. Make sure you clarify yourself. In the finals, that's just at that time he was in 3 finals. At that time he was only in 3 finals.
Let me reword that. In the finals, he never got pushed to a game 7. So what I'm saying to you is, how is it that he wins 3 straight, but then he's scared to go for another? You say that he quit and didn't want to go for a 4th title.
Yeah, he didn't go. He didn't want to do it.
Okay, when what he did was he didn't retire from a game of basketball and just at home. He took on a new challenge. If I master this challenge, which is basketball, to the point where nobody can actually give me a game 7 in the finals, and he goes and takes on a new challenge, how is that quitting?
Because you quit the game of basketball. Why are you getting a new challenge? The challenge was to just win 3 championships. That's it. I went 3 in a row and I'm done.
Beat me. Who could beat him at the time?
How? You have to play to say that. You can't just say that. You can't just say because you won last year, no one can beat you. No one can beat you last year. But what about this year? There's still an NBA season going on now. There's a season going on right now. Teams are gearing up to play now. It's for another year. Where are you at? You said this is too much. I can't do this anymore. I can't hold this mantle no more. No other superstar ever said that. Magic Johnson, Kobe didn't quit after 3 championships in a row. Scottie didn't quit after 3 championships in a row. No, Bill Russell won 8 championships in a row and didn't quit. Why does Jordan get the excuse for quitting? Because he won 3 championships?
I've never heard anybody say that he quit until LeBron started being accused of quitting. Then I heard people say, "Oh, well, Jordan quit when he retired." No,
how? It was in articles in the 90s. Jordan quit basketball. Put it right in the headlines. Jordan quits.
But you know what? Okay, it may have been, but you know what? Those were people that wrote articles just to piss Michael Jordan off because they know that's how they get the best out of him. You see, he came back and won 3 more. You see, he came back and won 3 more.
That's not. You really think people out here putting articles for Jordan? No, bro. They put that. That's what he did. He quit. That's not funny. He quit. You think Jordan was upset because people said he quit? No, that's what he did. He quit.
You can't quit when the job is done. The job is done.
The job was not to win. The job was to win 3 championships and play 9 NBA seasons. That was Jordan's career.
To prove that I am the best in the game today, and he did that.
Exactly. LeBron proved that he's the best in the game today. He proved that. So he has nothing else to prove. That's it. He has nothing else to prove.
No.
Yeah, he has nothing else to prove.
No, he didn't prove that. How did he prove that? He didn't.
LeBron been dominating.
Steph Curry has beaten him more times in the finals than he's lost to Tim Duncan more. He's given out a lot of rings. It's a lot of guys he hasn't beat.
He hasn't given out. He's won. He's beaten all those guys that you said he hasn't beat. He's beaten all of them.
He beat Dirk Nowitzki.
He beat him. That's the only person he hasn't beat is Dirk Nowitzki. That's it. That's the only person he has, and that's in the finals.
Steph Curry has mountains. Steph Curry put a dynasty on top of LeBron's head. So. Yeah.
And LeBron has a dynasty on Curry's head. He has the greatest championship one on Curry's head. Curry does not. Again, there you go again. There you go again. So now Curry, right, is responsible for all these championships, although he got Kevin Durant to do that, to win 2 of his championships. Okay. And mind you,
Go ahead.
No. That's what you're saying. Because, again, Jordan quit. Because Jordan didn't let people put it on his head. That's the point. LeBron didn't quit. LeBron could have said after 2016, I'm done. I did the greatest championship of all time. I gave y'all the greatest performance of all time, and I'm done. And you're going to say he still didn't do enough to beat Jordan, but Jordan did the same thing with 9 seasons, and you're going to say that was enough. He accomplished enough. That's nonsense.
Jordan and the Bulls were so far and beyond everybody else that it was nothing you could do about them. There's nothing you could do about them.
That's what happened to LeBron.
A lot of teams won one championship and never went back. So him winning that championship with the Cavs really didn't prove. He came back from down, right? But you're looking at it. The coming back from down 3-1 is better than three-peating. Is that what you're telling me?
Beating a 73-9 team, yes.
That's crazy.
Yes, because you gotta remember it's not just the 3-peat, because you're ignoring the fact that he won 2 more championships just 2 seasons before, and he's been to the finals 6 straight years. At that point, he went to the finals for 6 straight years.
And he lost a lot of finals, more finals than he won.
And Jordan never made the finals. That's the point. Jordan only made 3 finals, and he has the same amount of championships as Jordan. And at that span, after 2016, LeBron would have 3 championships, the greatest finals performance of all time, the greatest upset of all time, and he would have more finals appearances than Jordan, which means he accomplished more than Jordan. So if he quit at that time, can LeBron say, I accomplished enough, I'm done? But or how does he lose that accomplishment because he kept playing? That doesn't make no sense. Mind you, the team, like you said, nobody could do anything with Jordan. Nobody went and put a super team together to beat Jordan. They did that for LeBron. That's why they went and got Kevin Durant, because they couldn't do nothing with LeBron. That's what I'm saying. Like, all of this stuff, and none of that makes Michael Jordan the GOAT. None of this makes Michael Jordan the GOAT. Like I said, you might as well put Kobe as your GOAT, bro. But I had some GOAT James Kingdom members in the back, and this was a great conversation. I'll bring you back up shortly here, Mr. Winters. Let me get some of my GOAT James Kingdom members up here so we can have a conversation, if you're cool with that. Appreciate you. Let me bring up Juan Boy. Juan Boy, what's up, brother? Nothing much, man. What's good, bro?
Real basketball fans, LeBron James fans, I am here.
We are here in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Listen.
Bro,
go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I'm listening.
As a Kobe fan, it's been a bad week for me because I just see these guys that's all online. With Jordan, I'm about to just let Kobe go, but I can't do that because I'm a diehard Laker fan. But when people be like, oh, what about 2009? I'll be like, yo, what happened with 2007 when LeBron was in the finals? In 2011, in 2012, 2013, 14, 15, and 16, while Kobe was still in the league. Where was he at? Cancun. So stop trying to LeBron, how many answer this, Kobe fans? How many finals did LeBron make while Kobe was still in the league? It wasn't just 2009. Like, come on, man. What happened what happened in 22? Let's talk about since Kobe fans like to talk about 2011. Let's talk about 2011. The Lakers got swept.
Ooh.
Let's not sweat. And when you talk, you don't want to. And then when y'all talk about 2011, how were you guys really basketball fans like that Dallas Mavericks team wasn't cooking everybody in the West? When Dirk came back from his knee injury, that's when they turned the corner. They knocked off Portland. They swept the Lakers. They beat OKC in 5. That is one of the toughest roads to a title that we've ever seen. And people keep downplaying it. Uh-oh. What happened? Uh-oh.
You good? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
And everybody, and there's never no contest on this 4 and 6. They don't say, "Oh, damn, LeBron."
Look at the excuse. Hold on, wait, one boy. Look at the excuse. Kobe was hurt in 2011. Kobe's always been hurt. From my understanding, Kobe's always been hurt. He's always hurt. He plays through injuries. Y'all praise him for learning to shoot with his left hand because he practiced that because he had a broken wrist early in his career. Now all this stuff. I mean, Kobe broken fingers. I've heard all this story about how Kobe played through all types of injuries, and now all of a sudden he was hurt. You guys have the 106 excuses. Again, y'all need to make Kobe y'all GOAT. Man, I don't understand how y'all make Kobe better than everybody but Michael Jordan.
He's my favorite. Kobe's my favorite player of all time, but he is not better than LeBron James. I keep saying this. Kobe's not. He's not.
None of them guys. Nobody's better than LeBron. Unless you want to go to first options. Let's do all right. So how about this? With the first options, Juan Boy, right? With the first options, does this bode well for you? Does this help Michael Jordan and the Jordan fan base?
No, because when you bring up the 10 scoring titles, they don't like to put the context to it.
But this has nothing to do with scoring titles. This is Michael Jordan winning 6 championships as the first option, meaning he took the most shots for his team and won championships for 6 seasons.
Well,
he was responsible for the offensive load for his team for 6 seasons.
Well, I don't know about that offensive loan because he's the only dude I know won Finals MVP shooting 5 for 19. You know what I'm saying? This is what we gonna talk about. They like to talk about this killer instinct. Where was this killer instinct at when the Bulls was up 3-0 versus Seattle and he shot 22 for 60? They ain't no killer instinct. It's just some myth that they made up just so we can keep having these conversations. You know what I'm saying? But although he took a lot of shots, we're not gonna mention the part that he missed more shots than the entire Bulls in Game 6. How do you miss more shots than all your teammates combined? And you was right. Every Bull that scored in Game 6 shot over 50% except Jordan. He missed 20 shots and they won by 1 point.
That's because of Jordan. What you mean? They won because of Jordan?
Yeah, because they won because of Kukoc. Kukoc was 7 for 14.
Oh my God!
He ain't shooting him out the game though.
This is why y'all should have hit the link. Y'all should have hit the link. Y'all let Go James members.
Yeah. I hit the link.
Yeah, hit the link. We gonna let West Coast sing. West Coast, another Go James Kingdom member. Shout out to you, bro. So what do you think of this, West Coast? What do you think of Michael Jordan being the GOAT? Because as a first option, no one's won more championships as him. How do you think that'll help them?
Well, to be honest, that's like the crux or part of like the only real argument you can make for Jordan as the GOAT, because what they say is that in the modern era, because obviously they know that Jordan can't touch the 11 rings, the 8 peat, he can't touch that. So they have to, let's keep it real. They have to move the goalposts to in the modern era, right? So then they go, it's because of the fact that he had 3 peats. It's because of the fact that he has 10 scoring titles. So the only thing I believe he leads all time in is scoring titles, points per game, and maybe like shot attempts in a decade, right? And like shots made in a decade. Well, it might be shot attempted because maybe Wilt has more made in a decade, but whatever. See, that's what I mean. Like he has very few things where he's truly number one. So again, they have to move the goalpost, or not move the goalpost, but they have to paint the picture of their argument to be. In the modern era, he was so dominant in the time that he did play. And it's like, well, by doing that, you do have to lay out so many caveats where they boost Jordan up, right? Where we don't have to do that with LeBron, or we probably don't have to do it with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, I heard he said, who besides MJ is perfect in the finals? Scottie Pippen?
I mean, technically speaking, you can say there's a couple people who are perfect in the finals. It just wouldn't be 6-0.
Yes. In fact, the guy that I brought up here, we bring up this guy here, Tom Hyacinth is 8-1. I'm sorry. Sam Jones is 10-1. It's not them. It's Casey Jones is 8-0 in the NBA Finals. Tom Sanders is 8-0 in the NBA Finals. John Havlicek, who's also here, has 8 championships and never lost an NBA Finals as well, sir. There are some players that are undefeated in the NBA Finals.
I did want to say this, though.
Not to mention other players as well. There's other guys, too. So
I do want to say this, and it is obviously nostalgia, and it's a generic statement, but the way you paint the argument for Jordan is you say, as a career, I guess, you say he painted the best picture in the amount of time that he did play, and it wasn't as long as LeBron. So, as we know, most humans are not very patient. So if you say there's going to be a guy that's going to paint a better picture, it's just going to take him a longer time to do it, they'd probably be like, oh, yeah, then I probably don't believe that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that would be.
Yeah. He said, look, you're comparing. No, I'm comparing their finals records. You brought up finals records, sir. I'm not comparing Havlicek and Michael Jordan. When we start comparing resumes, Jordan's not the GOAT. Again, Jordan's entire resume put together does not make him the GOAT. In fact, he won't even be top 3.
Oh yeah. Also, hey Johnny, one thing that I did see in older GJK videos that I don't want to say you don't talk about, but you definitely don't bring it up as much, is that if we do go if we do take a deep dive right into the competition in the East that Jordan had, the competition in the East that LeBron had, it's been tougher for LeBron, and it hasn't been just because he's played longer.
Say that again?
That when you compare the competition in the East, like when Jordan was winning championships and when LeBron started to make finals in 2007, LeBron's had more competition. Like Jordan had the better team in the 90s in the East. And the East wasn't as strong as people make it out to be.
You know, we touched on that a lot earlier on in GOAT James Kingdom. We kind of just crushed that debate because they don't have nothing but all-stars, and we crushed it with the all-stars as well. I've destroyed that conversation about competition and help. LeBron's had less help than Jordan and had faced tougher competition than Jordan, hands down. And I can prove it in any category, in any way, even if we want to go to all-star selections. As he stated here, wait, you're comparing the 6th man with 20 points per game to 30 points per game. As I stated before, when somebody has Michael Jordan in championships, all of a sudden now stats seem to matter.
You can't argue Jordan is the GOAT by just making titles be your end-all be-all, because then that either means you're being dishonest or you don't know NBA history and you'd be omitting the 60s.
This is how you can do it with the first option category.
Oh, the first option argument, yeah.
That makes it as the first option, right? Because they like to say scoring titles. So he won the most scoring titles.
Right.
Right, even, like I said, we can still do points per game, right? Like, that still fits the same way, but that makes, because we're talking about being a first option. We're not just talking about being a scoring title winner. We're not just talking about an accolade. Jordan is officially a basketball terminology within a basketball world. When we're talking about what is a first option and how we describe what being a first option is, Jordan fits this entire category. Everything that we're talking about here is exactly what would make Michael Jordan a first option. And as a first option with this responsibility, which is clear cut, it's not just winning a scoring title. This is not just having the most shots over everybody in the season. No, this is you being the main focal point of your team. And when Jordan takes the most shots, he has the most championships as a guy who's the first option. Now mind you, Jordan's led his team in this and other categories. So he's lost in this same category as well. But he's won as having the most field goal attempts for his team, or leading his team. Not leading the league, but leading his team, being the number 1 option, not being the best scorer in the league for a season. Because I can tell you this right now, 40,000 points trumps 10 scoring titles any given day. Any given day. Shout out to Gil in the building, man. Appreciate you, man. Yes. This is
shout out to Gil, man. I love Gil.
This is hurting their feelings because, again, they don't want to use this because they don't know basketball, Gil. This is too much basketball for them. Scoring titles is enough for them. That's facts, Jackson. That is facts. Shout out to you, Jason. GOAT James Kingdom member in 86. Wouldn't drop 63 against his own defense. No, he wouldn't. We know that's a fact. Havlicek was drafted to one of the best teams. Come on, it's not even comparable. Now it's not comparable? Now 8-0 don't matter? That's what I'm saying. Now you're just arguing your own argument. Like you're arguing your own argument. Again, this is a part of giving credit to somebody who's winning a championship. This is why the idea of Wombo, you got too much noise in the background. This is why the idea of being a first option was very, very important in the GOAT conversation, and which is why they were arguing with Gilbert Arenas about why Kobe was never a sidekick. And Lamont has to go out here and remind you that the NBA gave Kobe the Mount Rushmore sidekick label. I'm hearing people saying that let me pause. I mean, again, we don't do outside basketball talk here in GOAT James Kingdom, but we do have here some news that I'm guessing is true or not. I didn't get the notification because I'm not looking at my phone, but let me look this up here. I see Zero's in the building. He said R.I.P. George Foreman. That's sad. Okay. George Foreman just passed. Are we sure of this, guys? Because we know that the people go out in the media and say the wrong things. But again, no, Michael Jordan is not easily the undisputed GOAT. That's not even close. You guys been disputed for years now. That's just the facts.
Yeah, no, Jordan's case, if we're being honest about it, he has a GOAT case, but it's not what they portray it to be in terms of, oh, it's undisputed or it's blasphemy if you have anybody else. Like, no, there's cases for Kareem, there's cases for LeBron. And I would say the longer LeBron's playing at an all-NBA level, the more it's honestly starting to go towards either a LeBron or Kareem split. Obviously, you know me, I think it's LeBron. I thought it's LeBron since 2016.
At the end of the day, Jordan never surpassed Kareem. Let's just keep it real. I just showed a post today on how Barkley was calling Wilt Chamberlain to go in 91. And with Kareem's resume, there was no reason why you would say Wilt's the GOAT other than for the real reasons because Wilt was just the greatest player to ever play till LeBron showed up. But now all of a sudden, Michael Jordan's his GOAT and Oscar Robertson hops out in front. And none of those guys ever really passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, nor passed Wilt Chamberlain. So I'm getting words and we're confirming that George Foreman has passed away and has transitioned. So we'll give him a quick moment of silence here in GOAT James Kingdom. All right, rest in peace there. George Foreman, ladies and gentlemen, has been announced passed away, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight. I would say it's sad news, but he's lived an illustrious life. We all know George Foreman has, I think like a dozen children. So he's left a large, lasting legacy. And one of the craziest thing about George Foreman is that he made most of his money off the George Foreman grill. Like, he's legitimately rich and wealthy off of that. Shout out to B. Lee that's in the building. Thanks for watching again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Friday Night Exposure with The Exposer. This is the GOAT James Kingdom channel. If you're watching us on FYF Sports Debate, thank you for watching us here on the Friday Night Exposure. We're also live on our Facebook group as well. We just got off of the IG Live as IG doesn't let us go no longer than an hour. The link is here for anybody who wants to join me and have a conversation. Again, tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, we were discussing Michael Jordan being the GOAT predicated on being a first option. And we talked about how being a first option player, you're the offensive focus of your team. A first option player is the team is a player a team relies on most to generate offense and score, especially in crucial moments. The player's profile is that this player typically possesses strong offensive skill sets, which includes scoring ability, playmaking, and the ability to create their own shot. The team's perspective, from a teammate's perspective, how the team views a first option player, teammates are expected to look for this player to initiate plays and make tough shots. This player receives the ball first on offense. That's why Jordan was upset when Scottie Pippen made that three-pointer, because he didn't get the ball. He was supposed to get the ball first, then decide whether or not Scottie Pippen could shoot. So obviously the first option dictates the whole entire offense. It's so much so that the opponent's perspective is the opposing team will often focus on the defensive strategy to contain the first option, because that player is the most important player of their opponent's offense. So as a first option, how can Michael Jordan be considered the GOAT? Well, he's won the most championships as a player who led their team in field goal attempts. So being that he carried the load, Michael Jordan could be considered the GOAT predicated on this first option idea. Now, mind you, this first option idea only works if we're discussing offense. It doesn't discuss defense, which actually helps Jordan fans, because if we start talking defense, then at the end of the day, Bill Russell's going to be in the conversation. Shout out to Martell.
Johnny.
Shout out to Martell from Miami Heat Zone. Listen, don't come here with no bad news, Martell. That's what, 11 in a row, 10 in a row? Damn it! Go ahead, West Coast. I'm listening.
No, I have a question. Did LeBron lead the Lakers in shot attempts in 2020 when they won the ring?
Yes, he did.
He did. Okay.
That's why if we go to the shot attempts, right? LeBron James would have 4 championship seasons. But if we go to points per game and leading their team in points per game, LeBron James would only have 3 championships, because Anthony Davis averaged like point something more than LeBron James that season.
Yeah, I remember. I believe AD only led like in total points. He only had a bucket over LeBron for like the lead in that whole playoff run.
Yeah,
like a literal 2 points. But yeah, no. I was gonna say, if we go by like the field goal attempts, even then, while Jordan's did lead to more championships, you could easily just make the argument that LeBron had to offer more value, and that led to more appearances, because we know that he's led his team in assists in pretty much every finals run as well.
Well, you know what? I thought about that, and I'm glad that you brought that up, West Coast, because you know what? I thought about that with the idea of I should go find a player, right, that actually has the most seasons leading in points and assists.
It would probably be Magic if it's not LeBron. It's LeBron, and then Magic would probably be number 2.
Magic only led his team in scoring 1 year winning a championship.
Oh, never mind.
So it would just be 1 year for Magic Johnson. It would just be 1 year.
Yeah, I would think Magic might have been up there once like Kareem started to like take a lesser role and like age out a little bit, but I didn't think it was only once.
Yeah, it was only once. Yeah, it's only once. In fact, Byron Scott was the leading scorer of the 1988 Los Angeles Lakers in shot attempts and in field goals. I mean, field goal attempt and also points per game. So Magic Johnson doesn't have that. Tiny Archibald did lead the league in assists and scoring in the same season, but he didn't win an NBA championship. So we're talking about winning a championship while being this supposedly number one option, the first option.
That is an interesting thing to look into, because outside of LeBron, I can't think of somebody who's led in assists and points to lead a title and lead to titles with it.
What about Steph?
Well, Steph Curry didn't lead in assists in 2017 and 2018. He did in 2015. He didn't lead in 2022 neither.
Oh wow!
So in 2022, the leading guy in assists was Draymond Green.
Okay, let
me bring back Mr. Winters in the building. Shout out to Mr. Winters. So let's do this though. Let's look this up, because I want to see how many years. So let's go to 1991. In 1991, the Chicago Bulls, we know Michael Jordan led them in points. Who was the assist leader? Scottie Pippen. So that takes away 1 year from Michael Jordan. In 92, who led the Bulls in assists? Scottie Pippen. So that takes away another year.
I was about to say, Johnny, I think I did see that as a graph, that if you go just based off the 6 times they won the title, Scottie Pippen led them in totals, I think, every single time except points. Like, points was the one thing that Jordan had over Pippen. Everything else, I think, was Pippen. If you just go by totals, I don't know about averages.
That's for the playoffs. That's not for the season. I'm going by seasons. I'm not going by the play. Because again, the first option has nothing to do with playoffs or not. The first option is your team's strategy. It's your team's philosophy. Our team is built to have this guy be the main guy to initiate our offense and score for our team. This is what our offense is predicated. All our offense is predicated on what this guy can do. So Michael Jordan is that guy. When we talk about being a first option, but when you add being the ball facilitator or the playmaking aspect of it, then if you're saying he has to be the leading scorer and also lead his team in assists, that would make you the ultimate first option, which we all know that's what LeBron is. You see what I'm saying?
Whoa. Huh?
What? What did I say wrong?
No. I'm trying to. If I'm getting you right, you're saying that LeBron would be consider. What favors LeBron is the fact that he led in statistical categories on his teams. Is that what you're? That's
No,
what
we're
Yeah,
you're.
talking
he'd be
That's
the
about
the
leading
argument you're
he'd be
making
the
for
leading
LeBron.
scorer and distributor.
no. We're talking about what makes you a first option for your team.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Tonight's show's about being a
No,
first
yeah,
option.
no,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
It's not
Johnny,
about
but we
leading
made
it.
that.
Because again, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was about to say we made that distinction though, where like if you compare it to LeBron, LeBron would have that caveat of the fact that he was most of the time the leading distributor and scorer, as opposed to Jordan when they won titles, he was normally just the leading scorer. Like I think if you look all the way through, Pippen probably was the leading distributor in, if not all of them, at least more than half is what I would probably bet on. I don't know for sure.
But what's a better formula for winning? Is it one guy doing all the statistical things on his own, or is it another guy actually using the team aspect and everybody playing to their strengths to achieve
Well,
success?
every team that won a championship has a first option player.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, if which LeBron's gonna give you numbers. He's going to bust the numbers. He's going to do that, and that's great and all. But I don't know if that's a formula for like what Jordan did. I think Jordan did. You're right. You're right. Like Jordan.
All right, but what makes what Jordan did a formula for winning?
He used his teammates. It's a team game. At the end of the day, it's a team game. And
But that's why we're adding the assist to it, because not only was Jordan scoring, was Jordan really assisting? Was Jordan getting other teammates involved and letting them score like LeBron does?
Well,
But
that wasn't what he was asked to do.
No, but that's what the first option is. When we looked up the definition of a first option, a part of it was being a playmaker, which is basically ball facilitation. So how much of playmaking should be involved in being a first option player? Some people would tell you because of Shaq, right? Because Shaq, right? You dump the ball to Shaq. Shaq creates what? The double team. The double team collapses the defense, and what do? You move the ball and you get an open shot through that action, right? Same thing with Jordan. Jordan penetrates, collapses the defense, and he dishes it out. So that would mean what? Jordan is a playmaker in that scenario. But LeBron James does that all the time. Not only does LeBron James score as well as Jordan scores, but he passes better than Jordan. So if we remember, I'm trying to figure out a way to help you guys in this GOAT debate. So when we're giving you the field goal attempts, this says, okay, if you got a guy who leads the team in field goal attempts, that makes him the first option. That means he's the main guy for the offense. Jordan's won a championship 6 times doing that. No one's done that more than Jordan. Obviously, players have done that a lot. Right, every team that won a championship has a first option player, but who's won the most championships as a first option player? That would be Michael Jordan. Even if we wanted to take it to points per game, Michael Jordan still holds the most championships under that category. It changes for other players, but for Michael Jordan it doesn't. But now, if what West Coast was saying is, if we add the assists, if we add, okay, you got to be not only the guy who leads the team in points, but you also have to lead your team in assists. Who has the most championships under those criteria? I think
definitely LeBron.
It's definitely LeBron. Yeah, it's definitely going to be LeBron.
But that can, when you're a player like LeBron is, because he's gonna probably lead bounds and things like that. I think that worked. Putting into doing all those things.
You breaking up, Winters. You breaking up that last
Android,
you got the Android. Nah, but you breaking in, brother. The last 30 seconds to 45 seconds of you speaking was in and out. So let's mute everybody else and let's see if we can get. Go ahead, try to speak again.
Okay, hello, you got me. All right. What I was saying was sometimes that I saw LeBron in a lot of those Warriors series. I saw him worn down by the fourth quarter. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that he was doing the rebounding, the scoring, and the assisting. It takes a lot to be the ball handler and be the leading scorer. It takes a lot of energy. On top of that, you're rebounding. So in the fourth quarter, you saw the turnovers, you saw the bad possessions, you saw the mistakes because he's probably tired. You had good rebounders like Tristan Thompson. You had a decent rebounder in Kevin Love. You could have had guys like that. Kevin Love grabbed 16 boards in Game 7, I believe, in the finals that we won. So you had guys, and Kevin Love coming into that, he was what, 28 and 12? So he was the guy who can get some boards. You got Tristan Thompson, who was a pretty good rebounder on our team. You could have let those guys take that load off of you. You could have just, you know what I'm saying, focused on being the star of the team and won and had a better chance at winning, in my opinion.
I heard what you said there. I got you there. Now, Mr. Winters, what you were saying kind of voted for LeBron as the GOAT because, like you said, remember we talked about at the start of the show how this was all offensive, right? We're talking about the first option. There was really nothing defensively in this category, right? And that's the thing. Like, you're right. LeBron is tired. Not only are you asking him to be the main scorer, you're asking him to be the main facilitator. Now, not only that he's rebounding, which is a part of his defense, but he's also your best defender, right? Majority of the teams LeBron James won championship, he was the best defender on the team by far. So Jordan didn't have that. Jordan didn't have to worry about defense that much. He had that luxury to where he can just focus on the offensive side majority of the time, to where he was, limber and ready to play in the fourth quarter. Like we all know, Michael Jordan was always ready to go. But we have somebody interesting here. Shout out to Lamont, who's always throwing shots in the comments. Lamont, they're missing you here in FYF. They keep saying I'm running your channel. I'm not trying to run your channel. I'm just trying to give you guys good content. But Lamont is saying this. He says, Bill Russell has the most championships as the first option. Shots fired. He was the first option for the Celtics. They ran their offense through him. Now, Lamont, I know you broke down this plenty of times before, and hopefully you're watching this right now. I want you to watch this because I want you to see what I came up with for what makes you a first option player. Okay, now this is AI from Google, right? When I asked what is a first option player in basketball, it came up with these 4 categories, Lamont. The offensive focus. So, are you saying that Bill Russell was the offensive focus for the Celtics, meaning that he, as the first option player, the team relies on most to generate the offense and to score, especially in crucial moments? Does that fall in what Bill Russell did? The second category here is the attribute is player profile. This player typically possesses a strong offensive skill set. If we let Gilbert Arenas talk about Bill Russell's offensive skill set, he'll blow it out the water. 40-something% is horrible today, but 40-something% in Bill Russell's day was actually really, really good. But he has to be including in scoring ability, playmaking, which we know Bill Russell was a great playmaker because he set a lot of screens and he could pass. He was a great ball facilitator, and the ability to create their own shot. We do know Bill Russell can create his own shot. So in this category, does he really have a strong offensive skill set, right? Then we go to a team perspective here now, Lamont. From a teammate's perspective, teammates are expected to look for this player to initiate plays and make tough shots. This player receives the ball first on offense. And from the opponent's side, the opponent's perspective is opposing teams will often focus their defensive strategies on containing the first option as the important player to the opponent's offense. So with these categories here listed here, Lamont, are you still saying Bill Russell is a first option? I really need to know that. I really need your conversation. I'm going to put the link up for you. I don't know if you got time to come up. I know you're a busy man. You out here losing conference titles, but you're still Lamont. You're still Lamont here. Hit that link, brother. Hit that link. There it is. The link is there, brother. Hit the link. I just put it there for you, brother. Bob Cousy. Yes, Bob Cousy's up there. When we take that criteria there, Ray, right, and we go by players who led their team in field goal attempts, Bob Cousy led the Celtics in 57 and in 59 in field goal attempts, and they won championships those NBA seasons. So under that kind of criteria, Bob Cousy, that's why, I use field goal attempts because I think field goal attempts would be the best way to describe a first option player. But we do have Lamont in the building, and Lamont is going to help us understand what that is. What's good, Lamont, man? Peace and blessings, brother.
What's up, man?
So what you got for us?
Hold on. Put those categories back up again so I can see them.
Oh, you talking about for the what's the things that I found on Google? All right, here it is, right here.
Yeah. So when you go to the first one, offensive focus, right? They called Bill Russell Mr. Game 7. That was his nickname. He was their clutch player. They relied on him Not you don't get the name Mr. Game 7 because you just good defensively in the clutch. He got that name because he was one of the most feared offensive threats in the clutch. It's just for us without a lot of film to support it, and it's so hard to get the newspaper clippings that reported on it. We just don't really have many remnants left of people that can speak on it. But when you look at everything that the Lakers head coach, John Condola, he basically talked about how the Lakers feared him offensively. We run and look to the numbers, but he talks about how he feared that Bill Russell offensively. So, and when you go to teammate perspective, teammates are expected to look for him to initiate, make plays, and make tough shots. That's exactly what he did. He was also one of the first big men to start the fast break. He's the one that created that movement of the big man pushing the fast break. That was Bill Russell.
Hey Lamar,
right?
you got a quick static. Can you fix the mic a little bit? You got a little static.
Oh, I'm on my phone. That's why I got to switch. Let me switch to my desktop.
Oh, you got an Android too. You another Jordan fan.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
But hey, oh shit. What the hell?
Go ahead, Juan Boy. Lamont was breaking it down. Go ahead, Juan Boy.
Well, I got a question for you and Lamont, because I always hear Lamont schooling Mr. Winters on FYF. Why every time people mention 4 and 6, they always forget the context about the teams that LeBron lost to? But they don't never, when they say 6 and 0, they don't never bring up the teams that Jordan beat outside of guys like Barkley, Malone, and who else? Maybe and Magic. When Jordan won his first finals, they always leave out the part how James Worthy was injured, how Byron Scott was injured, or they had backups like how Tony Smith and not Sedell 3. Dude ain't even Terry Teagle. They don't even know these. These are the guys that were in the Lakers lineup in the '91 finals. Why do they always forget to mention who LeBron lost to, but they never mention who Jordan beat? Because it really ain't. It's a bad thing when people look at it like, okay, he beat Magic, but he didn't beat Magic with Kareem. Two of the best players on the Lakers team was hurt. They had soft ass Vlade Divac in the middle. Now when you go to LeBron's, and that's the truth. And Vlade can't. And everybody know, if you watch basketball in the late '90s or early 2000s, Vlade Divac was the king of flop. If anybody's the flopper, he's the flopper. But he came from the Jordan era, right? But anyway, you look at I'm looking at a lineup with Tim Duncan. I'm like, damn, he got Bruce Bowen pushing LeBron towards Tim Duncan. And you seen with LeBron, we heard what Tim Duncan said. We had to guard him with 5 guys. And we see the actual footage with him taking away his passing lane. They cutting off his driving lane. Once he pick up his dribble, he's got 4 people around him. They like, we're going to let these other guys beat him. There is no footage of Byron Russell and any of his Jazz stints that's worth more to a basketball fan than what Kawhi Leonard did in his first 2 years in the finals. Playing alongside with 3 Hall of Famers and Tony Parker, Manny Ginobili, and Tim Duncan.
So you know what I'm saying? No, hold that thought, one boy. We got Lamont back because I know Lamont's got a limited time, and we get back to going in on this.
And I'm ready to answer that question because that's easy. Go ahead, Lamont.
Yeah. Let's let Lamont back in. You good, Lamont? You can unmute yourself.
No, hold on. Let me fix my mic real quick. I'm connecting them still. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, he's still fixing his mic. Okay. All right. So what was that question again, one boy? So we can get Mr. Winters to answer. What was the question again?
Why people never mention who LeBron lost to, but they never mention who Jordan beat? The teams that LeBron James lost to were better than the teams that the Bulls beat. And
whoa.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Hey, Johnny, hey, Johnny, hold on.
Hold on. Let one boy answer. Let's Juan Boy answer the question. Ask the question so we can get Mr. Winters to respond easily, gentlemen. Don't double team him. This is still Jordan Day. Today is Jordan Day. Y'all see it up here. It says "Go Jordan Kingdom." Relax.
Because even if I'm looking at it from a defensive point, let's say if the Mavericks got Jason Kidd and Sean Marion and Tyson Chandler on the floor. These guys are well known for defense. When we talk about the Utah Jazz, ain't none of these conversations coming up with Byron Russell and Jeff Hornacek, Greg Ostertag. Ain't nobody scared of Greg Ostertag.
Didn't they have the other big man, Foster? What was his name? Foster?
He was smaller than Greg Ostertag. And don't let me bring up Frank Rakowski.
No, what about Adam Keefe? You remember Adam Keefe?
Adam Keefe. He was in. They traded. You know what? They traded him for Tyrone Corbin. We're laughing because this is Jordan's competition. Now I can go pull up footage of all these players I'm talking about. Who's more better than who would you rather have in the paint if you're a scorer? If defending the paint, would you rather have Greg Ostertag or Tyson Chandler down there?
That's the question. So the question is, how come you guys always mention who LeBron lost to, but you never mention who Jordan beat?
All right. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So you telling me that all 6 opponents that Michael Jordan beat, all the teams that he beat, well, 5, but all the team, well, you can say 6 because every team is different every year. So out of all 6 opponents that MJ played, none of them were better than 2011 Mavericks. You're saying none of those teams.
I have the ranking right here from the NBA.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
None.
I have the ranking right here from the NBA.
None were.
Hold on. Hey, Lamont and Johnny. Lamont, hold on, real quick.
Oh, no, wait. Lamont, you got the ranking. Where's the ranking?
Hold on. Let me pull it up right here. The NBA.
No, hold on.
Hold on 1 second. The NBA literally ranked every team that made an NBA Finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so here it is right here. So here's the opponents. Michael Jordan. It has the 1992-93 Phoenix Suns as the 25th all-time best team that made the NBA Finals. You have the 1990, and it says right here, it says Barkley MVP, deep offensive team. It says the 1990 Los Angeles Lakers, they're number 30 all-time. 58-24, older Magic, Worthy was injured, and Byron Scott was injured after game 2. Worthy was injured after game 4. Portland Trailblazers, they're the 31st ranked team that made the NBA Finals, 57-25. The 1995-96 Seattle Sonics are the number 40th ranked team. They were 64-18. Kemp and Payton, 1996 and 97 Utah Jazz, 64-18. Malone and Stockton, but they says they lacked another gear, and then they were ranked 43, and the team that was ranked 44 is the 97-98 Utah Jazz. It's the same core as 97, similar weakness. When you go to LeBron, LeBron's toughest finals opponent was the number 3 team, finals team all time. It was the 2016-2017 Golden State Warriors. 16-1 playoff record, added Kevin Durant, one of the most dominant finals teams he ever faced. They have the 2015-2016 Golden State Warriors, 73-9. They have the 2014-2015 Golden State Warriors ranked number 9 all time. So the first Golden State Warrior team was number 3. The 2015-2016 team was ranked number 5 all time. The 2014-2015 Golden State Warrior team was ranked number 9 all time. The 2013-14 Spurs were ranked 12th all time. The Dallas Mavericks were actually ranked 18th all time. That's higher than any team Jordan faced. And then you have the Spurs. So 2012-2013, they have them ranked 25th all time. They have the 06-07 Spurs ranked 28th all time. They have the 2017-2018 Golden State Warriors ranked 35th all time. And then they have the OKC Thunder that he faced at 38th all time, and then the Miami Heat at 50th all time. So LeBron's competition, LeBron faced the number 3, the number 5, the number 9, the number 12, and the number 18, and the number 25 teams all time in the NBA Finals, according to NBA.com. And then what they used is, instead of using people, they used the Ken Palm ranking. So the Ken Palm ranking is probably right now is probably the most fair evaluation because it takes the human element out of it. And the Ken Palm ranking is what came up where to rank all these teams.
Now,
Hold on.
Hold on. But wait. Lamont got a limited time, please. We got to get back to this player options scenario because I really want to hear how Bill Russell could be a number one option. So shout out to you, Lamont. So let me move this out of the way for you here so we can get this going. All right. So you was on team perspective, and you already talked about how clutch he was for Game 7s for the offensive focus.
Yep.
So now we're talking about again the team is expecting him to initiate plays, make tough shots, get the ball first on offense. Go ahead.
Everything went through everything. So the one reason why we know that teammates relied on him when he retired, all his teammates begged for him to come back. When he was out and injured, they never won a championship. The Celtics didn't have any championships before he came, and they didn't win another championship till 5 years after he retired. So the winning, everything went through Bill Russell. The winning, everything that you can think of went through Bill Russell. That's why they begged him to keep playing when he retired. You got player profile. The player typically possesses a strong offensive skill set, including scoring, playmaking, ability to create shots. People always look to the numbers to try to act as if Bill Russell couldn't score. Bill Russell was looked at as one of the best offensive players in the game because back then they wasn't running around looking at box score numbers and field goal percentages because the game was just a lot different. So the field goal percentages were a lot different. The basketball was different. The rim was a lot different. So everybody's numbers around that time did not look as efficient as what we see today. But if you look at what coaches and what players were saying about Bill Russell in the moment, they didn't have all of these negative connotations talking about him being a bad offensive player. They talked about him as an elite offensive player. That's why he's a 5-time MVP. And when you talk opponent's perspective, opposing teams will often focus their defensive strategies on containing the first option. Just talk to John Condola. You can't talk to him, but again, look at what he said. He talked about how every time the Lakers faced the Celtics in the finals, their entire strategy was built around how do we contain and slow down Bill Russell. That's how valuable he was to that team. He even came out and said in the LA Times, we don't fear the Boston Celtics when they don't have Bill Russell. They didn't care. Their whole game plan, every team in the league's main focus was trying to figure out how do we stop his playmaking. When he's not scoring, he's passing the ball. He's rebounding. He's pushing the fast break. He's getting other guys involved. And then late in the game where he can make clutch shots, really one of his only weaknesses was free throws, right? That was his only really real weakness late game was free throws. So all of the narratives, and the biggest problem with first option is that because of Michael Jordan, everybody now believes that the first option is the leading scorer because they just connect first option with the guy that scores the buckets. Magic was not the best offensive player as far as scoring the ball on that team. James Worthy was a far superior player when it came to scoring the basketball, right? But he still wasn't the first option over Magic, right? When you look at Adrian Dantley was probably a more gifted offensive player than Isaiah Thomas, right? But Isaiah Thomas was still the first option. There's plenty of times in NBA history we can go to where the first option on the team, like Tim Duncan, ain't always the leading scorer. So people got to, get that narrative out your mind that the guy that scores the most points is the first option. That's just not how the first option works. The first option is exactly what you got on this screen, and it doesn't always mean that you're the leading scorer. I just think people who don't understand basketball, they just run to the guy that scored the most points and say that's the first option because it's the easiest way for them to get to a conclusion on first option. Oh, he must be the first option. He scored the most points. And that's not truly always the case. That's not truly always the case. You got to look at how the offense is run, who the coach basically says the offense is running through, and that the end result of the offense is based on how good your number one option is. If your number one option, if the end result results in him scoring all the points, he'll score all the points. It could result in him getting 15 assists like Nikola Jokic. Some nights Nikola Jokic has 17 assists and Jamal Murray's the leading scorer because it's your first option's responsibility to do whatever it takes to make the offense thrive. That's what it is. It's not just to score. And that's what people got to understand.
Okay, so all right, because you know what, Lamont, now that you say that, right, because you know me, I've always tried to pinpoint things down so we can talk about it, right? These vague conversations we have, these vague terms, it disturbs me. And the first option is one that disturbs. We had the conversation with Kobe and how he's a 1A, 1B. We joked about how Reeves should be a 1C, right? Why, if they can be a 1B, why can't we have a 1C? And when I read that definition of the guy who has the ball first and the playmaking aspect of it and being the guy that initiates the offense and sets up the offense, I think of point guard. Like, that's my first initial thing. I don't think of a scorer. I think of somebody who's like, that's setting up the plays, that's making the pass, that's getting to the right spots, finding the right guy. So part of being the first option means you can be a Magic, you can be a Stockton, right? Am I
exactly, Johnny. That's why I brought up Magic earlier, Johnny.
Well, it depends, and you can't, because it depends. So the one thing you got to look at always, what dictates the first option is the offense that the team is running. So, for example, Steve Nash with the Phoenix Suns in the 2000s, Amari Stoudemire was the lead scorer, but Steve Nash at the point, the offense ran through Steve Nash. That offense did not function without Steve Nash on the court. It's same with Magic, right? And you can go through with Draymond Green with the Warriors, right? A lot of people don't want to admit it because they're lazy. They're just going to run and say Steph is the number one option on the team, right? But at the end of the day, whenever you take Draymond Green off that court, that offense starts to fail. It don't thrive no more. Draymond Green makes that offense work, but if you look at how Steve Kerr runs those split actions and how he uses Steph Curry off ball, you could side with the case that Steph Curry is the first option because of how he uses Steph Curry with and without the ball, and Draymond Green helps facilitate that. So it gets weird. It gets really weird sometimes because it's all based on how the coach uses his players. Because you go all throughout NBA history, Jason Kidd, Chauncey Billups, guys like Glenn Rice. You can go all throughout NBA history. You can find a ton of guys that weren't the number one scorers on the team, but they were the first options, right? And I just think people just go the lazy route and just think that the leading scorer is the first option when it could be a mixed can of beans. It can be in some cases, but in other cases it's not. You got to look at it on a team-by-team basis. It's not the same for every team. But I know Bill Russell was the first option.
Yeah, again, so now that you say that, because I went the lazy route, Lamont. I went the lazy route. I said, you know what? Let me go to who led the team in field goal attempts, right? Because also a summary of what I read stated that usually this player would lead the team in shooting. This would be the main guy. He's going to take the most shots. So when I did that, they love the championships. So I said, okay, let's see who won the most championships taking the most shots. So I used the most shots to consider yourself to being the first option. Obviously, Jordan would fall. This would fit perfect for Jordan fans. Would you be able to debunk this with a Jordan fan in a debate if they say, well, listen, Jordan won the most championships as the first option because he took the most shots?
Well, because the way the triangle was run, Jordan was the first option. See, that's where it gets tricky because sometimes you can be the leading scorer and the first option. But in other instances, you can be the leading scorer. For example, like if you look with Amari Stoudemire over Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire was the lead scorer, but he was not the first option, right? Steve Nash was the first, and even with Magic and James Worthy, and so it gets tricky. So with Jordan, yeah, but Jordan still didn't outdo Bill Russell. Bill Russell is the best. Bill Russell won the most championships as the number one option in NBA history, right?
Wow.
And I mean, if you do it that way, even Jordan still falls second. So Jordan is rightfully there. That's right for Jordan. And then even with LeBron, that's right for LeBron. And Kobe definitely don't have it 4 times. Kobe has only been a number one option twice as a champion. Shaq was the number one option 3 times. So
yeah, and Ray keeps bringing up Bob Cousy. As I stated before, Bob Cousy probably would have the most championships for somebody who led their team in assists, because I think he has 6 championships under that scenario, and I don't think no one else would have more than him. So if we just went off of assists, then yeah, I guess you could say it's Bob Cousy, which is why I always tell Bob Cousy's the top 10 point guard of all time and one of the greatest players to ever play the game. But like I said, I thought this was a very interesting topic because I watched your live the other day about the LeBron surpassing Kobe, and I'm watching everybody talking about how great Austin Reeves is. And I always tell people how there's players in today's NBA who are not quote-unquote first options, but because they're playing their role as the 3rd or 4th guy on the team, but they could easily be a first option on any team, just like we've seen it with Kevin Love and the Chris Boshes and the Kyrie Irvings. You know what I'm saying? Like the Norman Powells, and now all of a sudden the Kobe Whites, all of a sudden you put them on a team with Dave, like you said, we got to make the offense flow through him, and they can flourish. You see what I'm saying? So I thought about that because again, they don't have nothing. They're struggling, especially now after Bronny went off for 17 on Giannis. Like they don't have nothing.
Hey, Johnny, here's the tricky part. This is the problem with Jordan. Unless you use, you have to use things that are very, very opinionated to put him as the GOAT, because there are really no objective measurements that put him as the GOAT.
I said the same thing, hey Johnny.
At the end of the day, there is not a single objective measurable that can put Jordan as the GOAT. You have to either do something weird like peak, and you have to bundle up a few hand-selected years. You have to use a whole bunch of narrative and nuance, like, oh, he was the most clutch, he killer instinct, the black cat, the black Jesus, and you have to use a whole bunch of. At the end of the day, there is absolutely, and I'm not joking, Johnny, because the more you look at it, the more you realize it. And when I was listening to, I forgot the NBA player, I think it might have been Oscar, I can't remember who it was, but there was an old school NBA player breaking it down. And when you really think about it, out of the things that we can measure, right, there is nothing. There is absolutely nothing that Jordan has as an objective measurable that puts him as the GOAT. You have to use all opinionated stuff that you can't measure. And think about it. Or people have to, like, people even have to run the 6-0 as if Bill Russell don't got 11 of them things.
Yeah,
as if Cam Jones and John Havlicek ain't 8-0 in the finals.
As if one loss absolves 5 more championships. Legitimately, they make it seem like 58 absolves him having 5 more championships, having Kobe Bryant numbers over Jordan. That one championship takes that away. That's cool.
And the same thing goes for Kobe. It's just like for the people that elevate and put Kobe in a top 5, like the level of reaching and desperation that you have to go to, because there's nothing measurable that puts him up there other than you saying, oh, I watched him play. Oh, I was there. Like, outside of that, okay, because if I'm from another planet, I'm like, okay, do you have anything to support this? You can't give me points per game. You can't give me points. You can't give me head-to-head with some of the best players like LeBron. You can't really give me nothing that I can measure, because when I start looking at everything,
I give you 33,000. That's what I was telling him. 33,000 is all they got. 33,000 is all they got.
He don't measure up to any of the greats, like by accolades, by stats. The same with Jordan. Like, Jordan is up there, but he just don't measure up statistically or accolade-wise, because if you play with the stats and accolades, LeBron and Kareem get them. If you play with the championships, Bill Russell gets them. So it just don't matter how you slice it. You have to they come up with things like you say, but I was there, I watched them, and it's just like, okay, but the record books don't change. Like, your eyes, you could tell me a whole bunch of, like, come on, man. Like, so that's the reality of Jordan's career, man. And that's why I say,
Hey, Johnny, could I tell Lamont something real quick after this point? I think it's just to double down on the competition thing. So real quick, Lamont. So even without like the NBA's ranking, I said, and it's a fact, like in 70% of the finals LeBron's been to, so 7 out of 10, he's faced either a dynasty or a team in consideration to be a dynasty with 3+ Hall of Famers. Like, Jordan never faced them in the finals.
Technically, 7 out of his 10 finals is the Spurs and Warriors.
Mingo said I'm lying. I want Mingo to come up here and tell me the measurables.
Yeah, Mingo John.
Hold on,
wait. Ray, Bob Cousy only led them in points 1 year. He did not lead them in points and assists for multiple years. After 57, it was Hyacin or Sam Jones that led them in points while Cousy was there. So that never happened. Then look, Lamont, here goes another silly one. He says, does first option need to be box office? Not for the coaches.
Oh.
For the owners, but not for the coaches. I mean, the coach is not sitting here thinking, well, I'm going to make my offense work so we can sell tickets. That's not how it works.
Yeah, and Joker isn't really box office. But I love watching him play because he's just a cerebral guy. He's got his hand on the cerebral part of the game. And that doesn't appeal to everybody because he's not – I mean, he could do a round-the-back pass or a crazy pass, but – and a crazy shot once in a, but he's not going to wow you with his ball handling and his athleticism. He just plays the game as simple as it can be played, and I love it because he's feeding the whole entire franchise off of his off of his playmaking at the center position.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
Johnny, I'm gonna let you rock out, man. I gotta slide out.
I appreciate you, Lamont. Appreciate you. Here we go. So, West Coast, right? Shout out to Lamont, man. Y'all make sure to check out Lamont's channel. Again, we go live Fridays and Sundays. So if you see a FYF show pop up on a Friday night, it's GOAT James Kingdom. If you see it pop up on a Sunday afternoon, it's GOAT James Kingdom. Just know that, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to continue to multi-stream through Lamont's channel because we appreciate Lamont giving us this opportunity. But we got these guys over here, Juan Boy. They want to define what's a dynasty, right? Because you said that 7 out of the 10 teams he faced was a dynasty, right? Then we just have Mr. Winners tell us Golden State and the Spurs were a dynasty, right? And wasn't that part of the argument that he and I had, or the discussion we went back and forth about? He said the Spurs were a dynasty. He said the Warriors were a dynasty. 7 out of the 10 LeBron James's finals were against either the Warriors or against the Spurs. So that says that he faced the dynasty in the finals 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah, and like I said, hold on, hey Johnny. Like I said, teams when Jordan faced teams that match that description, 3 Hall of Famers or more, he got spanked or swept. Let's keep that in mind. Don't let that detail go over people's heads.
Besides 91, he won in 91. That's the one year he won. He beat 3 Hall of Famers that year.
Right. But by then, you can easily say that the dominant teams had either aged or they had. I'm not going to say they fell off, but they either had gone from their peak and they had dropped off a notch or two because the Pistons weren't as dominant the year that they got beaten by Jordan as they were the 2 years before.
Yeah. Now again, Ray, you can say Jordan was better than Bill, but what, off stats? You're gonna use stats now? You're just gonna use Jordan scoring. You're not gonna use, like Lamont said, the fact that Bill Russell was a great ball facilitator. He was a great playmaker. He was obviously the greatest defender to ever play the game of basketball. Hands down, and the sad part is we don't have the numbers to prove it, but we already know it is. Because like I tell you, just because we don't have the recorded blocks and steals, that doesn't mean he wasn't out here blocking and getting steals. He was still doing it. We just don't have the numbers and the resume. So again, statistically, Bill Russell's there as well. He's number 1 in rebounds in the playoffs, both per game and totals. He's second all-time in rebounds in NBA history, both in per game and totals. He has 11 championships. He's second in MVPs. He has 11 All-NBAs in 13 NBA seasons. He's the only player in NBA history to win an NBA championship as a player-coach, and he won back-to-back doing that. Like, I mean, what do you guys want to say? Again, I have him ahead of Michael Jordan, to be honest with you. None of y'all can make Michael Jordan better than Bill Russell. If we take everything that existed in Bill Russell's era in the 60s and compare it to what Michael Jordan had, that means you can't use all defensive selections. You can't use Defensive Player of the Year. You can't use steals, titles. You just use what Bill Russell had. Michael Jordan's not better than Bill Russell. And it's sad that's really sad. Go ahead, Juan Boy.
And he said that he doesn't consider a team a dynasty if they don't win 3 in a row. That Boston Celtics team, I just checked, from like 62 to 65, they won 4 in a row.
They won 8 in a row. Between 1959 and 1966, they won 8 championships in a row.
But this what you just said, how you was breaking it down for Bill Russell, why do Jordan's fans just look at scoring as the end all to basketball? There's more to basketball than just scoring.
Because that's what Jordan did great. That's what he did. That's one thing they can hang their hat on, that Jordan was a great scorer. Everything else is just, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was going to say too, Johnny. Like, you got to keep this in mind. When you argue for GOAT, like, I'll use this analogy. When you argue for LeBron as the GOAT or Kareem, you say, here's the whole book, give me a better book. When you say Jordan, you say, it's based off of these pages here, not the whole book. It's either based off these chapters or these pages, not the whole book.
It's not the whole book. Yeah, and even with that, he doesn't have the best chapters. Jordan doesn't have the best peak. He doesn't have the greatest, he doesn't have the greatest moments of all time. He doesn't have none of it. He has just the strongest fan base of all time. That's really it.
And not only that, what is Jordan the great out of any basketball aspect? What is Jordan the greatest at? He's not the greatest. LeBron's the greatest scorer in all time, all around player. Steph is the greatest shooter. You got different cases for defensive players like Bill Russell. You got Ben Wallace. You got Dwight Howard. You got Alonzo Moore. You got Elijah Warren. You got. He's not even in. I don't even think he's one of the top 10 to 15 greatest defenders of all time. We know ball handling ain't in the conversation.
Well, you know what? You know what? Now that y'all brought that up, because I was could have swore. Oh, I did. It's not here. Hold on, wait. It messed up. Let me try to bring it back up here. I was trying to find something here. I was trying to load up some stuff. We were talking about the competition, right? Because I didn't know where Lamar. I didn't know the NBA had a competition. Are the greatest players of all time? Yeah, I got it. But what I did find, and what I do have, and to talk about when we talk about this GOAT debate is that obviously I have this little thing right here where, if we look at what ESPN said are the greatest teams of all time,
I think I've seen that.
and who faced those teams, we can clearly see LeBron James has faced more of the top 50 greatest teams in ESPN's list than any other player outside of Wilt Chamberlain.
Where they have
hey, Johnny.
Spurs at? I've seen.
No, yeah.
I know the 2014 Spurs is up there.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Johnny. Now we have multiple feathers in the cap. We have ESPN who are saying this, and the NBA itself is saying this.
LeBron James has the ultimate scoring title, sir. It's called the all-time scoring leader. LeBron James outscored everybody who ever played the game of basketball. A scoring title is only outscoring somebody who played for a season. So if we look at here, even if we look at here, Jordan only has one team that he faced that was in the top 20, which he got annihilated by the 86 Celtics. And no matter what y'all say, that was a great team, yes, but Jordan shouldn't have been the 8th seed. If Jordan was so great, he should have been higher, and he wouldn't have to face them in the first round.
And they only had 23 teams in the league.
But LeBron James faced 4 teams that's in the top 20, right? And for ESPN, and he faced 5 teams in the top 25. So again, he faced more teams than Jordan. He has tougher comp than Michael Jordan. Yes, LeBron James has the ultimate scoring title. It is called the all-time scoring leader. 50K is better than 10 scoring titles, ladies and gentlemen.
And he never,
by far.
And going on 22 years, he's never missed the most shots in the league to do it. Never.
Hey, that's a great feather in LeBron's cap too.
Because one thing these Jordan fans always want to talk about, these 15 seasons. 15 seasons. He's got more losing seasons than the guy going on here at 22.
And if we just go look at the players the teams that they faced in the NBA playoffs, as far as the finals goes, and we go look at their net rating for the playoffs, then that means what their offensive rating is compared to their defensive rating, we can clearly see LeBron James face way better teams than Michael Jordan. The worst team LeBron James ever faced was the Miami Heat, which was 1.9, a plus 1.9 team rating.
Yeah, but they was hooping that. They hooped it, and they can't say that the bubble was a fluke because they wound up beating Milwaukee and Boston 2 years in the playoffs again.
Yeah, and the average team net rating for LeBron James' team was 5.0. Jordan was 8.9. The average opponent for Jordan was 2.2, and the average for LeBron was 7.2. Jordan was his team was completely better than those teams that he faced in the NBA Finals. So this idea that Jordan had tougher competition and less help is false. We can use so many different numbers and categories and real basketball knowledge to explain to you why LeBron James faced tougher competition with less help than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, and every team that LeBron went against had a post presence on defense. You can't not name one person out of Karl Malone, and he wasn't even a great shot blocker that was known as a great defender in the post, with a big man ever, where most of the scoring was predicated on scoring close to the basket. Been watching this basketball stuff over 30 years, and these dudes be trying to. Who was protecting the paint with Michael Jordan? Vlade Divac, Kevin Duckworth, Oliver Miller, and Mark West, Frank Bukowski, Irvin Johnson, Greg Ostertag, Greg Foster. That's not the same as Tyson Chandler, Tim Duncan, or Serge Ibaka.
Draymond Green.
Yeah, JaVale McGee, Andrew Bogut, Bam Adebayo. You know,
we already know that. Listen, he goes here. How can you have a super team and still and still lost. Okay, my question to you is, what is a super team? And I'll show you a bunch of super teams that lost. And
Boston Celtics.
Surge, the 2004 Kobe Bryant Lakers. Surge here. The 2013 Lakers lost. The goalpost moving, I swear. Again, when you guys say we're moving the goalpost, that means we stated one thing and you came up with something to debunk that, and we moved the goalpost. What did we move? First of all, where was the goalpost at first? And where did we move it to? I don't know what you're talking about. You're here late. Just like SSD Jeffrey showing up late in line.
I can address that, Johnny. So he asked, how can you have a super team and still lose? Because he faced a greater super team, right? So like the teams that he had in Cleveland that was so good, right? With Kyrie, Shumpert, Love, J.R. Smith. Why? Because the Warriors were an even greater super team. They could go blow for blow offensively and had a top 10 defense. That's why he lost. Because defensively, his team wasn't as good as Golden State, while they could go blow for blow or outscore him.
Yeah, wasn't Golden State #1 in offense and like top 5 in defense too? In all of them seasons that they played LeBron in the playoffs, in the finals?
Yeah, pretty much, because they went to 4 straight finals having a top 10 defense and offense, I think, every single year, if not maybe just one off.
And then you got, but then they also leave out the context of the competent players they got coming off the bench. You got old guys, you got veterans like David West, Sean Livingston, Leandro Barbosa. Who else was on them teams? Guys that was putting up good numbers on other teams. David West had a hell of a career. He was a 2010 guy before he went to Indiana when he played with Chris Paul. So we're talking about a whole bunch of collective guys that know how to hoop all on one team. You know what I'm saying? And it's like pulling teeth with these Jordan fans, because when you ask for Byron Russell footage, they can't post none. I'm looking at 3 minutes and 41 seconds of Byron Russell Jackson. I'm like, oh, this is the guy that y'all hyping up Jordan over? You can't hype Jordan up. I don't hype Jordan up because I know what he played against in the finals compared to what LeBron faced in the finals. LeBron is facing a guy in Kevin Durant 3 out of 3 finals. You going against one of the toughest scorers, and he's playing with great guys around him that play defense, like Iguodala, Klay Thompson.
Let me answer some questions, because you just naming these names that you're gonna say you're naming names. They don't really care about that. So let's do this one, boy. Here we go. Here we got some people who want to conversate. He played against super teams in 2K12. Are you talking about the 2012 OKC? If you're talking about
he's pretty much trying to ask us like if we think that's a super team. Well, no, we said that in 7 out of 10, so that would be one of the 3 where he didn't.
No. I don't care about. He has to give me a definition for super team. I got something better for you, Ray. I got something better for you. Show me the team Michael Jordan played and beat that had 2 players that averaged over 25 points per game in the season, right? They had 2 All-NBA players on the roster, an All-Defensive player on the roster, the guy who led the league in blocks on the roster, on the same squad. Go show me that team. That Jordan.
Yeah, because we don't even have to quantify a super team. That OKC team was nasty, no matter how you slice the pie.
Yeah.
And the 2012 Heat were not a super team, so don't go there.
Wait, matter of fact, you can just ask them this: Who did the Thunder beat in the Western Conference to get to the finals? They forget about that.
They beat Kobe.
I believe they also beat the Spurs too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they beat the Spurs.
When LeBron was 22, you were talking about 2007. Stop it, Wall Street, Brandon. Now Kevin Durant at 22, it gets an excuse that he's an All-NBA player, averaging over 25 points per game, and I believe he led I think he led the league in scoring that year, if I'm correct.
In 2012, did he?
Yeah, we gotta stop using the whole like, oh, he's young, so he can't be that good, or try to downplay somebody because they were young. That's stupid, bro. Magic won Finals MVP as a rookie. Let's stop using age as like an anti-feat.
Give me a definition for super team, please. Give me a definition. I would like to know. I need a definition. You guys are just calling any team a super team that LeBron's on. Doesn't make no sense.
Wait, what's actually hilarious?
And Kevin Durant was 24 years old in 2012.
So what if he was 24? Hold on.
No. He's saying that to prove this guy wrong, because he said he was 22. In reality, he was 24. See,
Brandon
Catchers be making shit up.
No, yeah, but hey, Johnny, what I did want to say was this: that talking point about like, oh, he was so young, like that shouldn't count as like a great win. That's a literal Skip Bayless talking point. I remember he says, "Oh, they were just puppies." Yeah, it's BS. He says, "Oh, OKC, they were just puppies." It's stupid.
Again, I asked you, Brandon Cass, like I asked the other guy. Go show me the team that Michael Jordan faced and beat that had two players that averaged over 25 points per game for the season, who were on all NBA teams, who also had an all-defensive player on the roster who led the league in blocks. And the scoring title.
Yes, he's telling them kids. Like, didn't KD already have a scoring title by then? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, he was, And 2 years before that, they were, and this is the difference between the
Again, hold on, wait, listen. M-Rum, top players. Chris Bosh, Westbrook. Hello? Dwayne Wade, Westbrook. Even. It's all even. Dwayne Wade was better than Westbrook until 2012.
And then
hello?
The Heat didn't have nobody.
Ibaka made the all-defensive team. Chris Bosh didn't. Exactly. So that means he had more help. Not to mention Johnny, having all these other players on the roster. They had Kendrick Perkins. They had a whole team. They don't make the finals because there's some little kids. They're a good team.
But who was?
They were better. They were better than the bum ass. No, wait, guys, I got this. They were better than the bum ass Portland Trailblazers. They were better than the old ass Lakers. Yeah. They were better than the bum Jazz, who couldn't even score 60 points in an NBA Finals game. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, no, they be trying to make it. They be making it out to seem like teams were just tripping into the finals out of the Western Conference. Like it was just like a weird thing that they made the finals.
And I would tell Brandon Katz, hit the link for him to come up here and cap, but he's not going to shut the fuck up when it's time for him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but another thing, but people forget 2 years before that, OKC was the 8th seed, was a 50 and 30.
Not in 2012. Bosh was not better than Ibaka in 2012. I'm answering Rum here. Y'all gotta excuse me because I'm trying to deal with people in the comments. So go ahead.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That OKC.
Oh, I forgot to fucking mention James Harden was the fucking sixth man of the year as well.
Yeah,
forgot to mention that shit.
We gotta stop underselling the OKC 2012 team, bro, because it's just like this. Had that OKC team beat LeBron, you guys would say that's probably like Kevin Durant's best feat. You'd say that LeBron had an epic meltdown because he couldn't beat Kevin Durant in the finals. Like, bro, y'all know what y'all do. Y'all nasty.
Wait. Please tell me, Brandon. Please show me what were the tough teams Jordan faced in the finals. Show me those teams. I mean, on his way to the finals. What Eastern Conference teams were tough for Jordan in the East? Explain them to me. Which teams were they? Why were they so tough? Which one of those teams in the East had two All-NBA players and an All-Defensive player on their roster? Which was one of those teams?
I know you ain't talking about the 38 and 44 Knicks. Please don't be talking about them.
Look, he brought up the 89 Cavs.
What?
Sir, Jordan didn't go to the finals that year.
Jordan didn't make the finals that year. Not only that, Jordan went 5 games with that team. It took him a miracle shot to get past them. A
miracle shot to beat Craig Elo?
No, to beat Mark Price, Brad Daugherty, and Hot Rod Williams and Larry Nance. Because
they be thinking that Johnny's like under 30 years old and doesn't know this stuff.
Mind you, none of those guys averaged over 25 points per game in that season. None of those guys led the league in blocks. None of those guys had it's still a less team, and it took Jordan 5 games in the first round with a game-winning shot. That's when he hit that game-winning shot against Craig Elo. And he had the nerve to talk about that team. And in fact, I don't even think that Cavs Mark Price team had 2 All-NBA players that year. I think it was in '93 they had 2 All-NBA players on the roster in '93. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it must be because they don't know you and because you look young. They must think you're under 30 and you don't know about like the 80s and the 90s. It's like, bro, Johnny knows about all this. Like,
watch him start lying. Go ahead, Brandon Cass. Explain to us how the '89 Cavs were better than the 2012 OKC Thunder. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm not making that argument, but these are the dumbest takes. Like, first of all, the 2012 Thunder Thunder team never won anything. They never won anything before 2012 or after 2012. And the reason they never won anything is Russell Westbrook is not a second option on a championship team. Westbrook made horrible decisions. He shot 41% in the playoffs. The Thunder were a young team that was not ready to win. They never won before 2012 or after 2012. And Jordan played far better competition than LeBron in every single round of the playoffs except the finals. He played the 98 Pacers team Jordan played was far better than the Indiana Pacers team LeBron played with Paul George and Roy fucking Hibbert. The 93 Knicks were better than any team LeBron played other than the Celtics. And Jordan also beat the bad boy Pistons, and he played the Boston Celtics. That Cavs team that Jordan beat in 5 when Pippen was not a consistent second option had Mark Price, Larry Nance, and Brad Daugherty. That Cavs team was better than any team LeBron played in the East for most of his career. Jordan played far better competition every round of the playoffs except the finals. It's not even close. And LeBron has the record for most losses in the finals. LeBron didn't win in the finals.
Again,
Okay.
oh no, I got this, guys. No, Juan Boy. I'm sorry, Juan Boy. I got to send you out to the back. This is Brandon and Katz and I alone. Brandon Katz. The 2006 Detroit Pistons are better than any one of those teams. The 2007 Detroit
Ben Walsh
Pistons
was
are
not
better.
on that team.
It doesn't matter. Ben Walsh not on that team. They still had Chauncey Billups. They still had Rip Hamilton. Don't cut me off and don't interrupt. Don't cut me off and don't. I let you speak. Don't cut me off. Stop
You lied
it.
by not mentioning Wallace was out.
It has nothing to do with Wallace. You lied when Chris Mullins was out the whole. Was Chris Mullins out or not? Was Chris Mullins out or not the whole year for the Indiana Pacers in 1998? Yes or no?
Please, Chris Mullin was 90 years old. His back was
Exactly. So that's why they were a worse team. That's why they were a worse team. They were not better than the 07. They're not better than the 07 Pistons. They're not better than the 07 Pistons. They're not better than 07 Pistons. The 1993 Knicks, you brought the 1993 Knicks as a better team when Michael Jordan had a better team in 1990. Brandon, this is why you get put in the dugout, man. I let you speak. You can't cut me off.
Well,
let me speak. I'm not lying. Wait till I'm done. Then you can say I'm lying, because I'm not lying. The 1993 Chicago Bulls were better than the Knicks, so they're not comp. The 1993 Bulls had 2 All-NBA players, 3 All-Defensive players on their roster. The Knicks didn't have that. They had 1 All-NBA player on their team. That's it. They had 1 All-Star on their team. They had 1 guy average over 20 points on their team. They were not better than the Indiana Pacers of 2013. You're wrong there. You're wrong. You're naming players and you're naming teams just for the sake of naming teams with no substance. None of those teams were better than the teams we just mentioned. You just brought up Mark Price and Brad Daugherty and the team from 1989 who had 1 All-NBA player, 1 All-Defensive player on their roster. They were not better. They were not better than the teams LeBron James faced. I already proved this countless times. I can continue to prove it because LeBron James faced more All-NBA players. He faced more All-Stars. He faced more All-Defensive players. He faced more 20-point per game scorers. He faced more statistical leaders for the year. He did all of that without having it while Jordan had these things. You're just lying. You're the liar. Now you can speak.
No. So first of all, hold on. The 93 Knicks won 60 games. They had an all-time great defense with a defensive rating of 99. They had one of the best net ratings in the NBA. That 93 Knicks team was better than any team LeBron played in the East other than the Celtics. And the 98 Pacers were far better. The 98 Pacers would have swept the 2013 Pacers. The 98 Pacers had Reggie Miller, Rick Smits. They had the Davis brothers, the Jalen Rose. That team was far better than a team with 23-year-old Paul George, Roy Hibbert, and an older David West. Jordan played better competition every round of the playoffs except the finals. You LeBron clowns talk about how LeBron played better teams in the finals, and you don't want to talk about the first 3 rounds.
Again, the Indiana Pacers of 1998 had no 20-point per game scorer. They had.
It was a lower scoring era.
They had. That wasn't a low because they couldn't score. Don't make excuses because they couldn't score. Stop interrupting me. They had only 1 20-point per game scorer. They had 1 All-NBA player on their roster. They had an all-star who averaged less than 17 points per game and less than 7 rebounds per game. That's what they had. They did not have a great shooting team. They did not have a great team at all. This team was not that great.
Okay, wait.
And then wait. And if we go to the 2013 Indiana Pacers, okay, who was actually a team that won some games, because you brought this team who only won 58 games, and 2013, the Indiana Pacers, let me bring them up here, who played in the Eastern Conference Finals. Here we go.
Okay,
if they played in the Eastern Conference Finals, they had Paul George, they had David West.
Could the 2013 Pacers take the 98 Bulls to 7 games? Yes or no?
What?
Could the 2013 Pacers have taken the Jordan Bulls in 98 to 7 the way the 98 Pacers did? Yes or no?
The 2014, that's the one I wanted to bring up, the 2014 team. The 2014 Pacers team. Yes, they would. Matter of fact, they would. Yes, because yes, they would have. Yes, they would have. Yes, they would. Because you're making up hypotheticals. Don't ask me for a fucking hypothetical and you can't fucking prove. Don't ask me for a hypothetical you can't fucking prove. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to the team. Stop interrupting me. Again, Paul George averaged over 20 points per game. Paul George averaged over 20 points per game. I'm giving you one more shot, Brandon. If you cut me off,
these eras are different for scoring. It's dumb to compare them statistically. And again, the 90.
Did I say no? Oh shit! Say it again. Say something else. Oh, say something else. Say something else, nigga. Sit your ass.
This is why I have the dugout. He can't help himself. He really can't help himself. He fucking can't help himself. He doesn't let people fucking speak. I let him talk. I let him fucking lie. Because this is what they do best. Because if they let me speak, they get fucking cooked. And they get exposed all the fucking time. I don't know why you come on Go James Kingdom with your bullshit.
What the fuck you doing here? If you can't take it, sit your ass down.
Now, again, I'm going to repeat myself. The Indiana Pacers had guys, 6 guys who is in double-digit scoring. 6 different guys. But let's just bring the main guys up. Okay? They got Paul George, who is better than Reggie Miller. Paul George in 2014 is better than 1998 Reggie Miller. David West, Lance Stevenson, Roy Hibbert, and George Hill. Not to mention they got Danny Granger on the bench. He wants to bring up a team with Mark Jackson, Antonio Davis, the Davis brothers. He brought up the Davis brothers, guys who can't score and can't do nothing. Those guys would not be able to handle the basketball court in 2014. They wouldn't even get on the floor. Those guys are not better. This team is better. That's just it. You brought up teams that won 60 wins. Why don't you bring up the Atlanta Hawks that won 60 games in 2015? Why don't you bring up the Orlando Magic, who won 59 games in 2009? How come you don't want to bring up the Toronto Raptors, who won 60 games one year and 59 games another year, and LeBron beat them? Or the Boston Celtics of 2018 that LeBron beat? You said I don't want to bring up these names. I'm bringing up all these teams, and they're better than those stupid teams you keep bringing up because you don't know how to talk fucking basketball. And this is why I had to put your dumb ass in the fucking dugout, because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Shut up, bitch. Sit your ass down.
None of those teams are better than the teams that we just mentioned. None of those teams. I can go on for days with this, Brandon. You don't have nothing.
Okay,
I can go for days with the teams Jordan faced.
I have a simple question for you. So the 98 Pacer team, that same roster, took Kobe and Shaq 6. Do you think Paul George and Roy Hibbert could have taken Kobe and Shaq 6? Yes or no?
That's a different team.
Yeah,
that's not the same team.
Quiet. Got cooked. The Pacers.
I want you to be quiet.
And Roy Hibbert.
I'm answering your fucking question. You brought up the 98 Pacers. They didn't face Shaq.
It's the same roster.
No, it's not. It's not the same roster. It's not the same roster. The 2000 team and the 99 team or 98 team are different teams. What are you talking about?
Paul George was never as good as Reggie Miller in the playoffs. Your take is delusional. That Pacer team in 98 was far better than the 2013 Pacers. The Knicks were far better than any team.
Paul George is a better player than Reggie Miller all time. He was better. That's it. That's it. Paul George is better than Reggie Miller.
Hey Johnny, could I ask him a question? Let me flip his logic. Let me flip his logic on him. Let me flip his logic on him. Hold on, let me flip his logic on him. Okay, was Scottie Pippen on the Blazers better than Allen Iverson because he took the Shaq and Kobe Lakers 7 games? I'm curious.
Allen Iverson lost in 5. Allen Iverson lost in 5. He didn't take them 6. You have your facts.
No, I said I said was Scottie Pippen? No. Hold on, sir. Hold on. No, you misheard me. Sir, you misheard me. Sir, you misheard me. I said, was Scottie Pippen on the Blazers better than Allen Iverson because he took the Shaq and Kobe Lakers 7 games? Iverson only took him to what, 5? So is he better by your own logic?
Okay. My argument is I'm talking about the team. I'm not talking about individual players. I'm saying that Pacer team took the Jordan Bulls 7.
Is that Blazer team better than the? Is that Blazer team better than the Philadelphia 76ers? Yes or no?
Of course, the Portland team was better. My point is that the 90.
So the Portland team was better than the. So the the Portland Trailblazer team was better than the Philadelphia 76ers. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, they were much better. The East was trash that year. Anyways, what I'm saying is that the Pacer team that took Jordan 7 and that took Kobe and Shaq to 6 was a far better team than a team with baby Paul George, old David West, and Roy Hibbert.
Again, you can't wait. You can't do that because you're using what they took them to. That's what you're using. You're looking at what they took them to. But yeah, and LeBron and Paul George took the Paul George took the Miami Heat, which is a better team than the Bulls, to 7 games.
Right, but that's
hold on, Johnny, the 70. Hold on, the Allen Iverson 76. Hold on. The Allen Iverson 76ers have the league MVP. No, you're omitting this. No, stop. You're omitting this. You're omitting this.
The 2014 Pacers. Or the 2013 Pacers took the Heat to 7 games, and they took the Heat to 6 games. And what's it called?
Hold on, hey Johnny, he keeps omitting this. The 76ers that Allen Iverson got to the finals,
and Scottie was hurt. And Scottie was hurt in '98.
Yeah, hold on. Scottie was hurt. 76ers. Hold on. The 76ers had the league MVP, the Defensive Player of the Year, and the 6th Man of the Year. So how were the Blazers better?
Hold on. That Pacer team took Kobe and Shaq to 6, and they almost beat the Bulls in 7. So the Pacers team with
that doesn't make them better. They're not facing the same competition, Brandon. You can't say because they took one team to the 6 that makes them better because you took a team 6 games.
No,
that doesn't make you better.
And Kobe sat out
the roster of the Indiana Pacers. The roster.
You're not talking about the roster. You're talking about how many games they took. What makes the Indiana Pacers roster better? What? What's on their roster? What is on their roster? What are their roster players are doing? What are they achieving? What are their accomplishments? What are their production? What are you talking about?
Rick Smith was in no type of post.
You're just interrupting. What I'm saying is that if you look at the Pacers roster with Rick Smith, Davis Brothers, Jalen Rose, and Reggie Miller was far better in the playoffs than Paul George. Reggie Miller is one of the best playoff performers in NBA history. Paul George
False.
Who was a baby.
Lies.
Paul George was
lies.
Oh, I did not interrupt you. Paul George was a baby on that Indiana team. He was not as good as Reggie Miller was in '98. You're lying again with that take. And the other thing is,
you're using buzzwords to discredit the competition. You got to call them babies as a buzzword. It's a buzzword.
You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying.
You cannot name a team as good as the '93 Knicks that LeBron played in the East.
Yes, I named several teams. I named several teams. Yes, I did. I named several teams better than that Knicks team. I named several teams.
No, you didn't. You just lied. The
yes, 93
Knicks had a 99 defensive rating, an elite net rating. They were a 60-win team, and they were the only team to be up 2 games on the Bulls in the 90s. The 93 Knicks were far better than any team LeBron played in the East other than Boston. LeBron only beat Boston when he had a super team.
Lies, all lies. Let me tell you why you're lying.
We just forgot about Detroit.
You're using defensive rating and net rating, which does not show which team is better. So that's off the top. That's off. No, it's not a part of the consideration.
So, let me ask you a question.
Because
Johnny,
because it's not answering no question.
Johnny, who is better, the '93 Knicks or the 2014 Pacers?
The 1993 Knicks were not better than the Pacers. And you lied. And you lied about Paul George not being better than Reggie Miller in the playoffs. In the playoffs, Paul George averaged more rebounds, more assists, more steals, more blocks, more points.
And he's a better defender.
He's a better player than Reggie Miller in the playoffs. Simple and plain. He's better than Reggie Miller in the playoffs, and I can show it to you. Then you wanted to bring up the idea of the New York Knicks, the 1993 New York Knicks. Let's go to the 1993 New York Knicks, and let's discuss again. He's not gonna let me break it down, so I have to kick him off because he's not gonna let me sit here and discuss it because he's just gonna ramble off a bunch of shit. Then when I start breaking it down, he said, "Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question."
Yeah, no, he was being mad dishonest, bro. He was being mad dishonest because when we flipped his logic on him, he said that. Real quick. He said that the 76ers weren't as good as the Blazers, bro. Like, you're making stuff up.
Okay. The net rating for the 1993 Knicks was 5th that season. They were 5th that year with a 6.4 rating, net rating that season. I can go to a team in that LeBron James faced that has a better net rating than that. I can easily do that if I wanted to go to net rating in the playoffs. Because again, you act like he didn't face the Boston Celtics in the 2000s, who had the #1 net rating in 2008 with 11.2. Again, you don't bring up real facts. All you do is lie. And you get exposed in GOAT James Kingdom. Let's go to the 2007 Detroit Pistons, the team that you was disrespecting. And let's see what their net rating was. They were 6th in the league at 4.7. They had the 2nd best defense in basketball that year.
Without Ben Wallace.
And that's not without Ben Wallace. Without Ben Wallace. Let's go. Let's go to 2000. That was 2007, right? Let's go to the 2000. Let's see here. Let's go to 2009. They faced Detroit again, but let's go to 2009 Orlando Magic team in the Eastern Conference. The 4th net rating at 7.2, better than the Knicks. Better than the Knicks.
Yeah, they forgot how fucking monstrous Dwight Howard was at his peak, man. They really forget this stuff.
The reason he brought up net rating was because he knows, not net rating, defensive rating is because he knows LeBron faced tougher offensive teams. So he's trying to use net rating to say that they're better. You can't use, that's why I keep telling you, can't use these numbers across eras. They're different teams. But when LeBron James faced the Chicago Bulls in 2010, but they weren't a great team. They go to Boston that year. They go to Boston in 2010, another year, to show you that he faced another tough team than the 93 Knicks. And Boston in 2010, they had the 9th defensive rating at 4.0.
Shit, the Bulls had the best record in 2011.
Let's go to 2011 Chicago Bulls and Boston. No, let's not forget that he faced both those teams in the playoffs that year. Boston in 2011 had the 6th net rating better than the Knicks, which was what? The Knicks was 6.4. They were at 5.9. Let's go to the 2011 Chicago. Again, all these teams are just as good as the Knicks using your ratings, your stats.
Yeah, no, hey Johnny, real quick on those Celtics. He forgets that those Celtics team, even though they had gotten older, they became more balanced. Rondo got better. So by the time that Garnett was a little bit,
I'm not trying to. I'm using his shit against him. 2011, the Chicago Bulls net rating 2nd in the league, 1st in defensive rating in the NBA that year. The Knicks were not 1st in defensive rating, or they were 1st in defensive rating in 1993. But the show was Chicago, and they had an 8.0 plus net rating. That's better than the 1993 Knicks.
Yeah, D Rose was a better offensive player than anything.
So
those teams had.
I went down 7 NBA seasons, and I went through about 8-9 teams. 6 or 7 of them were better than that team.
Don't you talk about that 2015?
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro.
Talk about that 2015.
That's what they do. That's why he wouldn't let me speak.
Don't talk about the 2015.
Look. Now he's gonna say, baby, and I'm gonna say the baby Knicks. Who the fuck was John Starks? Who the fuck was Anthony Mason? They were all young dudes. Like he's bringing up. This guy was the MVP of the league, and he's saying Derrick Rose was a baby.
Hubert Davis was a rookie.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, MVP of the league, and we're gonna call him a baby, bro. That's crazy. He's just using buzzwords, bro.
Was LeBron a baby when he went to the finals in year 4? What about Kobe in year 3? I mean, Kobe in year 4, and D Wade in year 3.
Yeah, and in 1993, Patrick Ewing wasn't the league MVP.
That too. Should have won though. He could have.
Oh, so now Patrick is better than him because Patrick's older than him. So now we're gonna go. You're better because you're older. That's why you got put in the dugout because I don't have time to waste with you, Zesty Jeffries, with this bullshit.
If age makes you better, then LeBron beat the Celtics in 11.
Wait, let's go.
Age makes you better.
Let's go to the Atlanta Hawks, who won 60 games in 2015. That LeBron James swept. They had a 5.8 net rating. They had the number 1 defense in basketball that year.
Yes, they did.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. They didn't have the number 1 defense. I'm sorry. They had the number 5th ranked defense in basketball that year. You keep bringing up all these. This team is just, and they had 4 All-Stars. The Knicks didn't have 4 All-Stars on the roster.
I remember they starting 5. It was T. Korver, DeMar Carroll, Paul Millsap, and Al Horford.
The defensive rating for the Knicks in 1993 was 99.7. The defensive rating for the Indiana Pacers in 2014 was 99.3. They had a better defense than the Knicks. By your standards, Mr. Katz.
And then you talk about Rick Smits. Rick Smits ain't no post presence. Roy Hibbert was at least a league leader in rebounds and block shots. Rick Smits was the starting center at 7'4" that never averaged 20 points or 10 rebounds a game in his whole career. We talk about Rick Smits.
Here we go. The Toronto Raptors, 56 games they won in 2016. That don't count? With DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, that don't count?
Hey, those guys are going to be in the Hall of Fame, Johnny?
Let's go to Toronto in 2017 because I believe in 2017 they were one of the better teams. What year they won 60
No, 2018
games?
was when they 2018 is when they had the best record in the East and still got swept.
Okay, let me go to that then. Yeah, that's true.
2018.
Let's go see how good they were. Let's go see how good they were. Again, the only reason he brings up those teams that he claims are better is because the Bulls struggled against them. And that's his catalyst. Because the Bulls struggled against these teams, that means they were really good teams. Because the Bulls struggled against them. A net rating of the 2018 Toronto Raptors is 7.9. Better than the Knicks. They won 59 games. 1 game less than the 1993 Knicks. You are a liar. You're the liar. Because you say stuff and don't let people conversate and think you're winning a debate by trying to dictate the narrative. I let you speak, and I'm exposing all this bullshit.
Yep, because you wanted to
Matter
come
of fact,
up here.
let's go to 2018. That's all you want to do.
Shit,
Show me Michael Jordan making the finals with a team with a negative net rating. You can't do it.
In that team, in that 2018 Cavs team, I don't think there's a teammate that scored over 100 points.
Yeah, that whole playoff run, he had nobody that scored 20 or more.
The 94 Knicks is not the 93 Knicks. And if that's the case, Scottie Pippen took that team 6 games. Jordan could have never took that team 6 games without Scottie Pippen.
He would have got out the first round.
Never. I'll put the link up because I'm ready to get up out of here very soon. Because you guys just be lying and being as Zesty Jeffries can get.
Yeah, we don't, and we got all the stats right here. Some of this is on our head. He said right there, they trying to lie to you.
Yeah, the 90 exactly as if the 94 Rockets was a great team. On top of that, he's making it seem like the 94 Rockets was a great team.
No, they wasn't.
DeRozan is better. Yes, DeRozan was better than Reggie Miller too. So was Paul George. Matter of fact,
yeah. The thing is, they live in delusion, Johnny. They just feel that these players are greater. That they feel that the competition was better, so they run with it. It's like you don't actually look these things up, dude.
But how could Reggie Miller even be considered? First of all, he's not even a 20-point career scorer. Secondly, all he is known for is shooting. He don't have a handle. He didn't play no defense. All he did was shoot. That's it.
Here it is right here. Paul George versus Reggie Miller for their careers. We all know Paul George is better. Only thing Reggie Miller could do is shoot better than Paul George.
And that's questionable because Paul George
exactly.
is a three-point
Paul George, more All-NBA selections, more All-Defensive selections, more All-Star selections.
More Pike got more
in the playoffs, and in the playoffs, we can see he averages more points, he averages more rebounds, he averages more assists, more blocks, more steals. The only thing Reggie Miller does better than him is shoot better than him. That's it.
And like I said, that's questionable.
If we go to totals,
What the what?
In the playoffs, Reggie Miller has more total points than what's it called? But he doesn't have more rebounds. He doesn't have more assists. He doesn't have more steals. He doesn't have more blocks. So he's only outscored him more. And like y'all would say, that's because of longevity, because he's played more games. He's played 30 more games than Paul George in the playoffs. In every phase of the game, Paul George is better. What are we talking about here?
He knows that, and then he's gonna bring up the Davis brothers.
Like that's gonna make any change.
Antonio Davis, Dale Davis. Is he serious?
Let's let Olo get his take in so we can get up out of here. Shout out to you, Olo. Thank you for joining me, man. We were first talking about helping Michael Jordan fans get a criteria for Jordan, but Lamont fucked that up. What you got for the debate? Oh, for tonight's show.
So, if I'm understanding right, y'all are arguing the Paul George and Reggie Miller, or?
Well, no, that's what Brandon Katz wants to argue. He swears Reggie Miller.
Paul George was 24. He was not better than Reggie Miller in 90. That's the fucking dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
That Pacer team took.
I didn't bring you up to cut people off. Go, Olo.
Okay, so with the argument is who's better between Paul George and Reggie Miller, correct?
Yes.
Man, most people are gonna say Reggie, but
based on what? on nostalgia?
Nostalgia. Deep playoff runs, leading the team to deep playoff runs. Basically, that's about it. It's not like when you talking about their game, like the guy said above me. I don't know his name. But like he was saying, shooting better is probably one of the only metrics of the game that you could say Reggie is better than that. But I don't think that Reggie's a better defender. Rebounder and passer, that's up for debate. I might say Paul George is, most likely I'll say Paul George is the better passer. But other than that,
Paul George is better. Paul George is better in every aspect of the game of basketball besides shooting with Reggie Miller. Facts.
We're talking about 24-year-old Paul George, not Paul George in his prime.
Averaging 22 points per game and 6 rebounds and 4 assists.
It's not an argument, bro.
It's
not. Shot 40% from 3 on high volume in the 90s with no fucking spacing.
Again, Reggie Miller.
Jordan Bulls to 7, and that Indiana roster took Kobe and Shaq's to 6. Roy Hibbert and Paul.
Well, why did
stop bringing that up, Brandon. Stop coming up here and saying stuff you don't know. Wait, stop. Wait, I got this. Paul George shot 40% in 2014 on 3-point land, motherfucker. Stop bringing up shit and you don't know nothing. Who's the better shooter? They both shot 40%, and Paul George hit more 3-pointers. Who shot better?
Reggie Miller shot better because he played in a tougher era with less spacing. Paul George
based on what? Based on there was no spacing. There was spacing for Reggie Miller. There was spacing for Reggie Miller. No, you're not gonna go there. There was spacing for Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller had illegal defense. There was spacing for Reggie Miller. He had a whole side of the floor cleared out to him. Don't bring up spacing. Reggie Miller does not. Reggie Miller gets screens.
I was just about to say that.
interrupting and talking when I'm not on the panel because you can't debate me. So
I am debating you. I am debating you. A debate goes very simple and plain. Stop bringing up lies.
Me again. That's not a.
I'm gonna keep muting you. I'm gonna keep muting you because I can. I can do this in my show. You don't have a show. Get a show, and then I'll show you how to have etiquette. No, I can debate you because you have to let me speak. You have to let me speak.
What year of Reggie Miller are we referring to?
1998.
98 Reggie Miller was a far better player than 24-year-old Paul George. It's not even a fucking conversation.
24. This was 24.
It is I'm having the conversation with you. Paul George averaged more points. Paul George, let me give you the conversation. Paul George averaged more points. Reggie Miller averaged 19 points. Again, no, it's not. It's not higher scoring. The 2019.
Who was better in the playoffs?
Paul George. Paul George was better in the playoffs. Again, let me let me answer the question. Paul George in 2014 playoffs averaged 22.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals on 44% shooting from the field, 40% shooting from the three-point land, and 79% shooting from the free throw. In the 1998 playoffs, Reggie Miller averaged 19 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, shot 47% from the field, and shot 42% from the three-point land. Again, the only thing Reggie Miller did better was shoot better. He was more efficient, but he didn't score more. He didn't do more. He's not a better defender. He's not a better playmaker. He's not more athletic. He can't even dunk the ball. He can't even get to the rim.
How many shots? And Reggie Miller attempted 14 shots that year, correct?
14 shots per game. Paul George is averaging 16 shots per game.
Okay.
Paul George is even making more three-pointers than Reggie Miller. Not to mention, he's averaging more minutes. He's playing 41 minutes, and Reggie Miller isn't. Now, hold on, wait. I didn't even give. Oh, my bad. My bad. I gave you regular season Reggie. In the playoffs, my bad. In the playoffs, Reggie averaged 19.9. He shot 42% from the field, which was worse than Paul George. He shot 40% from three-point land, worse than Paul George. He only averaged 2 assists, less than 2 rebounds. So, yes, between 1998 Reggie Miller in the playoffs compared to 2014 Paul George was better. Now you can go ahead and answer the questions.
Yeah, I just have one simple question. If I replace Reggie Miller with Paul George, is Paul George taking Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen to 7 and having the Bulls down with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter of Game 7 with his second option as Jalen Rose? Yes or no?
They're beating the Bulls.
Yeah, you just cooked yourself. Because you're not... no.
Bro, there's no winning in a hypothetical question. That's just dumb.
You see what he just said? That's how he thinks he wins a debate, by saying, hey, how dare you say Paul George is better than Reggie Miller and could have took the Bulls and beat the Bulls. If Reggie Miller, playing the way he was playing, took him 7, what do you think Paul George is doing when he's playing? He's going to beat them. That's your logic? That's your logic?
24-year-old.
What does that have to do with anything? 24 years old has nothing to do with nothing. What does 24 years old mean? Nothing.
The age argument is dumb, bro.
Hold on. 24-year-old Paul George is not taking an all-time great Bulls team to 7. The only reason he got LeBron to 7 was Chris Bosh was hurt. I pointed that out before you had no answer. And the 93 Knicks took the Rockets.
That has nothing to do with it. Brandon, I'm not gonna let you run off about something that's not the conversation. The conversation is not about who took what. He took the Heat 7 games. Scottie Pippen was hurt. Scottie Pippen was hurt in 1998. That's why they took him 7 games, because Scottie Pippen was hurt. That's why they went 7 games. No. Scottie Pippen was hurt.
No.
Yes.
Because that's...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He
right,
forgot.
You're repeating yourself like a child.
Yes.
That Indiana team took Kobe and Shaq to 6. So
that's not the same team. That's not the Reggie Miller team. That's not the same team, Brandon. It's not the same team. It's not the same team. No, it's not.
Kobe sat
There's
out a
no
game
way
with a
the
hurt
2014 Pacers were not taking Kobe and Shaq to 6. This is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard. The 93 Knicks would have dominated LeBron James before he went to Miami. The Cavs team with Larry Nance, Mark Price, and Brad Daugherty would have beaten LeBron before he went to Miami. And that fucking 98 Pacers would have shit-kicked LeBron before
Bro, what are these hypotheticals, bro?
You pointed out.
Lies.
You pointed
All
out.
lies. All lies. All lies. Okay, Brandon, land your plane so I can respond. Please, land your plane, please.
Hey, you pointed out Pippen had back issues. When Pippen had back issues, Jordan still carried. When Pippen shot 41% in the playoffs, the final 3 years the Bulls won titles, Jordan carried. LeBron never carried shit. You guys gas up 20.
Whoa.
Stop. No, guys, don't respond. Please, don't respond to him. I'm waiting for him to finish, and I will cook him very simply.
You guys
Go
are
ahead.
grossly gassing up 2018. In 2018, which you fucking clowns gas up, LeBron played Oladipo and rookie Jason Tatum in the conference finals, and he played DeMar DeRozan, who shoots 36% in the playoffs. Jordan played a great Knicks team, great Cavs team. He played a great Pacer team. Jordan played better competition in every single round of the playoffs, except the finals. Jordan has more scoring titles, MVPs, first all-team NBAs, and championships. He has better individual accolades, team accomplishments. He's a better clutch scorer. And Reggie Miller was far more clutch than Paul George. That is the separator between the two of them.
Stupid. Now.
No,
Brandon,
I got Olo, I got this. I got this. Stop calling him stupid because all he's gonna do is respond, and I let you go, Brandon. So as soon as you fucking say something, you know what's gonna happen. You need to shut the fuck up and let me talk. You brought up the idea that Paul George could not take that Indiana Pacer team to 6 games versus the Lakers. He could. That team was not that great. Paul George is better than Jalen Rose, who was the leading scorer on that team that year. He is better than Jalen Rose, by far. He's better than Reggie Miller in 2000, by far, because Reggie Miller was not as good in 2000 as he was in 98. They didn't have the Davis brothers in 2000. So again, the team was also not the same team. You keep lying on GOAT James Kingdom. Thus, not the same team. Rick Smith was even older. You're talking about Reggie Miller being 34 years old, 33 years old. You keep bringing up all these players that are supposed to be doing all this stuff. Paul George at 20.
34 when he won his last title.
Brandon, please shut the fuck up. Again, you brought up these information and we're poking at you and showing how flawed it is. Completely flawed. You brought up Oladipo. You brought up all these teams. By your metrics, they were better than the Knicks team that you keep bringing up. All of these teams that Jordan no, they didn't. I named a bunch of teams that had a better net rating. The Toronto Raptors had a better net rating. The Boston Celtics, that's not bullshit. Brandon, stop cutting.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Sit your ass down.
I'm no longer going to allow you to come on the show, Brandon. You can disappear. You're not even worth the conversation. It's not even fun. Clipping this is not. We already clipped you before. This is not even fun no more. This is just you just trying to find a way to argue with other men online. And y'all wonder why I call y'all so fucking zesty. You just want to argue. No one gives a fuck what you think, sir.
Do I give a fuck? No, not one. How many fucks do I give? 0. Exactly. So therefore your comment is irrelevant.
Man, sit your dumb ass down.
Nobody gives a fuck what you got to say, Brandon. You're a liar.
Well, first of all, you have the presumption that people care what you say. They don't.
Sit your ass down.
There is no debating, Brandon. You want to debate? Join the 20v1. Go get 19 other zesty Jeffries and come see me. Because you motherfuckers are all getting cooked and exposed every fucking Friday by me. I keep telling y'all, go get 20 zesty Jeffries for me.
Say, bro. I'm the type of nigga stand on business, nigga. One man arm against 50, nigga.
Manny, bring me everyone. What do you mean everyone?
Now back to this whole conversation. Everything you just said, we debunked. The only thing you have is the hypothetical idea that the teams that LeBron faced wouldn't make another team go 7 games or 6 games. All hypothetical. It doesn't explain anything. And that's why I'm done having this conversation with you. And I'm done putting you in the dugout, because putting you in the dugout don't even fucking matter. I've been asking for a picture to put you in this dugout because you're the only person who deserves to be in this dugout consistently. Because for one, you cannot have a conversation and talk basketball.
Let's discuss. I ain't discussing shit with no goddamn kid. Motherfucker, let me tell you something. Who give a fuck?
Sit your ass down.
Reggie Miller is not better than Paul George in any facet of the game. He's not more clutch. He's not nothing. He is not better than Paul George.
He can't even create his own offense.
That's it.
Yeah, no, I just want to say this about that logic, Johnny, because it's so dumb. It's like, by that same logic, like, rookie Larry Bird can't be better than anybody who's not a rookie. Like, that's just stupid, bro. Like, that age doesn't mean shit. If you're a high-level player, you're a high-level player. Forget the age. Like, you don't hear people saying rookie Larry Bird wasn't great, bro. Like, what?
In 1998, Jalen Rose was 25, and he mentioned Jalen Rose.
Yeah, because he stayed at, how many years did he stay at Michigan? Like 2 or 3?
He was 25. He was 25 years old. He was 25 years old. That's it. That's all that matters. They didn't have Derek McKee in 2000s. Again, this guy just mentioned shit without ever really proving anything other than the fact that we're supposed to believe the nostalgia that because Jordan struggled against these teams, they must have been great teams.
And he talking that baby shit. Wasn't OKC babies when they beat the Lakers in 2012?
I don't know. Let's end tonight's show with you guys getting their last word. Let's start with you, Olo. What's your last take, brother? Go ahead and drop the bombs on tonight's show, please.
I heard a bunch of, not with you, but you, the guy, whoever that was that you thought. I heard a bunch of bad arguments. I don't think that it's a good idea to say that, oh, you didn't play good competition in this series or whatnot because of their shooting percentage. Like, you couldn't say, oh, the defense, like, why you can't say that the defense is the reason why they shot that bad. No, you can't do that because you want to stick to your narrative and push an agenda. So you want to say that DeMar DeRozan, he played DeMar DeRozan, who shot 36%. So it's a bad argument. Rookie Jason Tatum, that's a bad argument because of the other pieces on that team that made that team that great that year. And then they had the better coach, Brad Stevens, I think it was. And the first round matchup, are we really mentioning first round matchups like Jordan didn't face teams with losing records in the first round multiple times? In fact, everybody has mentioned, everybody, if your team was between 1 to the 3 or 4 seed, you've faced losing teams in the first round. Nobody gives a fuck about the first round. So, anywho, I just want to point out those bad arguments. Next person.
No doubt, no doubt. Shout out to you, Olo. Appreciate you. All right, let's get you in here, West Coast. What's your last take, man?
Man, my last take is bro, these Jordan fans are arguing based off hypotheticals, nostalgia, and like goalpost moving arguments. Like, it's like, dude, like, it's the Jordan GOAT argument. It's decaying. It's weak. The longer time goes on, it decays worse. It's over, bro.
It is. It's getting worse and worse for them. And when the Lakers win a championship this year, it's going to be a complete wrap for them in general. They're not going to have nothing to say. But they're going to be on only with themselves. So appreciate you there, man. I appreciate you there, Mr. West Coast. You always been a supporter. Thank you so much. Let's bring up Juan Boy. Juan Boy, what's your last take before we get up out of here?
Great show. Great topic to start off with. And great way to integrate Lamont in this joint. I'm glad I brought up that point about the finals competition and all that. Hopefully you get around to clipping that. But like I said, great show. Your guys that's listening, spread the word. GJK, they're trying to do big things with this basketball thing. Keep on tuning in, support. Hit the links, hit that membership. You know what I mean? What these brothers is doing, they love basketball. Shit take time and money. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't gonna steer you wrong when your basketball knowledge. You guys know what they're talking about.
Indeed.
The only reason why the Pacers series with the Lakers went to 6 is because Jalen Rose stuck his foot out of the Kobe foot.
Yeah, Kobe averaged 15 and Kobe averaged 15 points per game that series. So it is what it is. Again, ladies and gentlemen, here in GOAT James Kingdom, we prove everything we say. We already proved that LeBron James is the greatest player to ever play the game of basketball. We don't have to do no more. We can do it with any way y'all want to talk about it, whether we want to use the eye test, whether we want to use stats, whether we want to use longevity or peak, whatever it is you want to use. LeBron James is the greatest player you guys have ever seen. You've never seen nobody greater. And here in GOAT James Kingdom, we prove it. We go live every Sunday noon with the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and A. Johnny, where we do a show right here on GOAT James Kingdom channel. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, also hit the ring notification to let you know when we go live, because we also have other special lives, like we do the Radar on Saturday nights. We do the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer right here on Friday nights, right? We have those type of shows as well. And obviously we have the GOAT James Kingdom membership. When you become a member of GOAT James Kingdom, you have access to special exclusive content. You have access to all type of things that go on in the background here on YouTube and elsewhere, like Discord and other platforms that we're on. Not to mention, we watched basketball together. So we get together right on playback. We get together right here on a StreamYard private lobby, and we watch the games. If you guys have not got a chance to check us out on playback, check out GOAT James Kingdom on playback.tv.
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. Here in GOAT James Kingdom, we not only talk the game of basketball, we actually watch it. And by becoming a member of GOAT James Kingdom, you'll have access to watch the games with us right here on playback.tv/GOAT James Kingdom. All GOAT James Kingdom members will have access to watch the games with us, especially when the Los Angeles Lakers face anyone in the NBA. Also, we'll be going live with other games and other streams regarding the basketball. If you like the content here in GOAT James Kingdom, please hit that like button, comment, become a subscriber to the channel, and also don't forget to become a member of GOAT James Kingdom.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid to become a member of the channel. So tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about the first option player and what defines a first option player and how that can help Michael Jordan be the GOAT of basketball. Because if we go to the players who lead their team in scoring or lead their team in field goal attempts, it's clear to see that Michael Jordan would be the GOAT if we go off of what a first option is. Okay, and as a first option, Michael Jordan won the most championships, and that we know you Zesty Jeffries love the idea of winning championships. It's not about what you do on the court, but what happens when you do it. And obviously Michael Jordan won the most championships as leading his team in points and also leading his team in field goal attempts. But that was just, again, for the first option for Michael Jordan. But obviously, Lamont showed up and debunked the whole idea of Michael Jordan having the most titles as a first option, because he explained how Bill Russell is also a first option in basketball. So that is the crux of today's show, and that's what we were talking about. As I told you guys, I'm A. Johnny the Exposer. I want to have my 20v1 because you guys are afraid of me. Brandon Katz is the only guy who's brave enough to hit the link, even though I keep putting him in the dugout and keep exposing him left and right. I need a 20v1. I need more of a challenge, because I tried to help you guys out today by giving you a criteria to help Michael Jordan be the GOAT. It wasn't enough for you guys. You guys can't take anything from me. And like I said, I don't really care, because fuck your opinions. I drop facts. That's what I do here every Friday night on a Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. I drop facts. I give you guys the best information so that you can go out there and handle yourself as a basketball fan and do the best that you can do there. But as I told you guys, we always appreciate everything that you guys do with us here in GOAT James Kingdom. We'll be back again tomorrow night with the Radar right here on the GOAT James Kingdom platform. We'll also be live on Sunday with the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. You guys have a wonderful, blessed Friday night. Thank you for joining me. Again, you have now been exposed by the Exposer. Peace and blessings.
If you're a basketball fan and you're tired of basketball shows that talk about fake narratives and using non-basketball terms like killer instinct, playoff translation, gravity, come to GOAT James Kingdom.
Welcome to Zesty Jeffries Cemetery, where we have identified, marked, and cataloged all Zesty Jeffries for their final resting spot. No longer will you hear Zesty Jeffrey logic like 6-0 and the toughest era ever. This is where all of that ends, right here at Zesty Jeffrey Cemetery. Subscribe to the GOAT James Kingdom channel And also check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership.
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. You get to enjoy B. Lee and A. Johnny talk basketball every Sunday noon Eastern Time right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Support by subscribing and also check out the membership at GOAT James Kingdom.